till I can't let go. Welcome back to the IMNerd Podcast, guys. I'm your host, Freyway, and I'm here with my co-host, Kenny. This is the last...
Damn it, I was going to sing the next part, but I couldn't remember the words.
I don't remember the words either. That's why I stopped where I stopped. But this is the last episode of the year outside of our Patreon exclusive episodes that we also have, like, I don't know, the Master and the Pupil series dropping on there that's exclusive, and just episodes that only come on Patreon. But outside of that...
And apparently the Master and the Master, I don't know, that should just...
Yeah, the new one, 2 Masters with me and Nazar. And I guess it'll be anyone who is like YCS Champion, top of several YCSs, that level of person, if we ever do an episode together, those will be called like 2 Masters. But those series are basically previews of them on YouTube, but the main ones, the continuation of them is on our Patreon. So if you're interested in that type of thing, check out the IMNerd Podcast Patreon. Also, I added some perks this morning, just randomly. I added deck doctoring. So now in the main character tier, if you play Edison format and you want to have your deck doctored by me, you can. That is a thing that I will be willing to do once a month.
If you want to have your deck malpractice doctored, send it to me. I'll malpractice the shit out of your deck.
Oh no. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on, but this is the last podcast of 2022, and I'm really excited to introduce another member of the Gonna Finish That team that won the 3v3 YCS in Vegas in 2019. We already had Dominic Couch on, and now we have Scott Page. Scott Page has several YCS tops. He's one of the best players I know. I've known this guy for over 10 years, which is crazy to say. But I've known Scott for literally over 10 years now. And he is just one of the funniest people, one of the most entertaining people I've ever met. And every time we talk, there's always an interesting conversation. We even talk to each other a little bit in Pasadena. And he has some really cool ideas on like time rules and stuff like that. So we will get into all of that later on in the episode. But without further ado, I would like to introduce you guys to YCS Champion Scott Page. How are you feeling today, King?
It's good, guys. Feeling good. One thing I have to say though,
go ahead.
You call me one of the best players you know. We have to squash that like right off the bat. Literally cheeks, like...
No, I'm not trying to hear that, Scott. I watched you play. So the 3v3 that you guys won, I was watching day 2 coverage, the live stream. And because like Silverman was there, and I didn't expect him to get to top cut, obviously, being a rock. But like he fucking he's actually playing through top cut. But as he's playing through top cut, I'm watching you on the side of him, literally fucking dismantle people in record time with the dinosaur deck. Like Silverman sitting there tapping you like, yo, what do I do here? And you're already done your match. Like your match is completely over. Dom is still playing his opponent, but like Steve and Dom are playing, and you are just sitting there packing up your shit because your opponent got packed up real quick. It was insane. So you are definitely goated for that. Dinosaurs is broken as hell, and especially people who knew that deck was broken as hell at that tournament, which I don't think a lot of people really like understood how actually broken that deck was for that tournament. But I would never call you a rock, Scott. I've known you too long. You're definitely a good player.
Yeah. So the week before the YCS was the UDS, and my friend was using like his dinosaur deck that nobody was playing.
Yes.
And I was kind of just like scraping people with it. I'm like, yo, this deck is really nice. And I wasn't playing at the time. Like 2 weeks. This is like 2 weeks before the UDS, a week before the YCS.
Okay.
And it was coming to Tulsa, which is like 3 or 4 hours from my house. So I was like, well, I mean, I might as well play, I might as well like practice and try. So he gave me that goo, and I was just scraping it.
So wait, let me get this straight. You actually weren't really playing Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Before the 3v3 YCS like that.
No, I played Xu Ping in top 4, and I played him in the last round of Swiss, but I know Xu Ping for a while. He's like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
And he was in either way, so it was only top 8, so he gave me the win in the last round. Which I at first thought he did it because like, oh, that's my guy, but he did it because I didn't know what any of his cards did. Not like, haha, I don't know what your cards do, haha. Like all 40 of the cards in his main deck, I'm telling you, I did not know what they did.
Oh, okay.
So he strategically was like, yeah, I'm not going to play you because if I play you in top cut, I don't want you to know what my cards do. So I'm like,
right.
Okay, cool.
That's actually
nobody really
insane.
knew what his cards did at the time.
What was he playing? What the fuck?
The what's it called? The
Sky Striker?
No, this like the drag. It's what's Striker Dragon deck. I can't remember the names of the. The what?
Dragon Link Turbo, I think it might be.
Yeah,
Dragon
Dragon Link.
Okay, I
Yeah,
actually
with,
don't
yeah.
know what those cards do, but I've seen them combo so many times in my life, and it freaks me out that they take 10 minutes. They create this ridiculous board, but I couldn't tell you how to start or end any combo that they've ever done. Like, I have no idea. To this
Yeah,
day.
the only card I knew it did in his main deck was like Red Eyes, Darkness Metal, and Cosmic Cyclone. Everything
Yeah.
else is like, I don't know. I've never seen this card before. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I do say this in like all the interviews that I always get when after my matches and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I don't really know what the cards do. Which there was a time where I really played and really tried.
Same.
That was probably prior to probably like 2016 was
Same.
the last time I really
That's
tried.
when I quit Yu-Gi-Oh. 2016 was when I got out of Yu-Gi-Oh. I played very little at the beginning of 2017, but 2016 was when I was on my way out. 2017 is where I officially quit in the beginning of the year. I think that was like Zoo format. I played a couple of Zoo formats and Fusion Substitute started to happen, and I was like, I'm good on this. Like, I am good on this game. I have a new job, and it just was not giving play.
On the note of not knowing what your opponent's cards do, for the brief time I played Master Duel, one of my friends was also trying to get into it. And he was like, how do you learn what all these different decks do? And I was like, I don't know what any of their I know what my deck does. I know what my deck does, and I don't know what any of their cards do. I just play my cards and hope it gets there.
Yep. That's
pretty much been my strategy for a while. Okay, so I stopped really trying pre Zodiac. I never touched the Zodiac card. And then I started playing again. I started actually trying again in like 2018 for like that year.
Yeah, that was a bad year from what I remember. Like, okay, so what I mean by bad year, 2018, if I'm not mistaken, is like Sky Strikers at full power, Goki's at full power, the Thunder Dragon decks at full power at some point during that year, and also there was a Pendulum FTK deck that was consistent as hell. So I remember 2018 because I was judging. There's the only reason why I remember that year. I was still judging Yu-Gi-Oh! Regionals, and Jesse Cotton was like coming over my house, I believe, at that time to like grind regionals. He would come to Philly regionals, but he was spending night over my house, and I'd be like, "What are you playing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just playing a deck that kills you turn one." And I was like, "You mean like actual turn one?" Or he's like, "Yeah, like they don't get to draw their 6 card." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Is it consistent?" Because usually there's always going to be an FTK pretty much in every format. Like there's always some obscure, if you draw Insect Imitation,
like the funny decks.
Yes, you draw Insect Imitation, and like Chris Lynn can show you a million ways that your opponent doesn't get to draw their 6 card, but it's so inconsistent, and literally any hand trap stops it. So I was like, is it consistent? And he's like, yes, it happens over 80% of the games. If I go first, like I am going to kill you, and depending on what hand traps you have, I'm still going to kill you. And if I don't kill you, like by some miraculous way, that the 20% happens where like you lived, the board is still so ignorant that you might just lose because my board is not
a pendulum deck.
Yes.
It's like a pseudo FTK deck anyway.
Yes, like even if I don't literally do 8,000, because it'll just do 8,000, but if that doesn't happen, like for some reason you hand trap the right moment or something, like you have multiple and I stop, the ending board is still ridiculous. Like it's still not okay. So
it's like probably 4 negates or something.
Yeah. So playing in 2018, I remember thinking like, oh, maybe I can come back. And then I kept seeing every form, and I was like, maybe it's a good time to jump in. And I would see Gokis go first and take someone's whole hand away. And I was like, okay, so maybe it's not a good time to come. And then I would wait, and then like I would see an FTK deck, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's not a good time to come back. And then I'll wait longer, and then it progressively just kept getting worse. Like Summon Thunder Dragon Colossus turn 1, you can't search, and I have like a guy that pops cards. I have Sarah Yugioh 3 times. I literally watched Furman Sarah Yugioh 3 times turn 1, like stack his hand the way he wanted, Thunder Dragon Colossus, like all these things, and pass with like a full hand, full field basically. And his opponents just couldn't do anything. And I was like, okay, maybe this isn't a good time either. So there was never a good time for me in 2018 to like try to jump back in.
Yeah, it was a weird time. It was a weird time for sure.
But yeah. So leading up to the 2019 Vegas, did I get that right? It is 2019 Vegas?
2020, February 2020.
2020, that's right. You guys won the last in-person tournament before the pandemic started. That's how I should remember.
And I was pissed. I was pissed because I was cooking. I was rolling. I'm like, Yu-Gi-Oh's easy again. Like, yes, you're going. Like, come on. And then they're like, oh, never mind. Never play again. I'm like, oh, well, never mind.
And the game changed too. And in the time between when you guys won and where the game is right now, where that real events are happening again, like the game has changed drastically in these 2 years. It's like not even the same. It's crazy.
Like I can't play now. Like I literally I can't do it. Funny story, like talking about the 3v3. Couch, I was literally just talking to Couch, and he's because we're gonna team again for for the next Vegas.
Yeah,
And
I
he was like,
heard-
which is
"All right,
cool.
I heard what your next team name's going to be. The sequel
Yo.
name.
Yo, it's great. Did he say what it is?
So Silverman told me when you guys won, right? That, you know, I remember seeing on the Konami stream that it was like Gonna Finish That was the original name. And then when you guys do the next YCS, if you guys team up together, it'll be Back for Seconds.
Yeah,
And
Back for Seconds is a crazy name.
That is the
That's
fucking
fire.
that is the craziest story arc for a team, like a group of people doing Yu-Gi-Oh events I've ever heard. Like I've never heard such a great
So
story
good.
arc. Back for Seconds.
Not to swear, both of those names were mine. I came up with Gonna Finish That and Back for Seconds, so I'm taking credit for
That's
both
what
of
I'm
those
saying,
names.
Scott. You're broken.
Take that
You're
credit.
fucking
Take that credit.
Scott. You are literally so fucking broken. That is so based. Literally Back for Seconds and Gonna Finish That. And the best part about Gonna Finish That is that you guys actually won the YCS with that name. Like that is an insane name to finish a YCS. Gonna Finish That, and it's like three of the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh players, both physically and like how you
No,
guys.
we'll just stick with physically for sure. It's funny because like there was just that event in particular was just like it was beyond like meant to be. It was like beyond set in
Well,
stone.
So
The
you
story-
tell it from your perspective. Yeah, Kenny, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say the story that Dominic Couch told us was like insane because he was like he was on somebody else's team and they kicked him off on the plane and then
It's
Yes.
just insane.
like and then he goes on to your team and then you guys all team up and win. Like even that part of the story is absolutely absurd.
Yes.
And then so I want to hear more from your end.
Yeah, from your perspective, I wonder how it was.
So like 6 months before the event, Silverman was like, "Yo, we're teaming." I'm like, "All right, sure, run it," because I wasn't playing. So I'm like, I'm going to Vegas to have fun. I might as well enter the event, you know, and have a good time with Silverman. The original thing that we were going to do, which is my idea, this would be this. I really wish we. Well, I'm glad we won, but if we didn't win, this is what I wanted to do. We each put up an X set amount of dollars, me versus Silverman. We both enter the 3v3 with random teammates, people that went to the event with no teammates, because I guarantee you there was people that had no idea it was a 3v3. So basically like the
every time.
scrubs of the world. Yeah,
Yes.
basically like the scrubs of the world. So and it's my random 3v3 team versus his random 3v3 team with his two spares
Right.
and my two spares. And like just try to grind your way
Yes.
to like 1 or 2 wins. And then at the end of the event, we're probably going to play each other in the last round.
Right. And
Because we're
see
both
who
going to
gets
be X7.
see who gets the furthest too, and then whoever gets the furthest can get some money because you know Silverman likes to. He loves to gamble.
Yeah,
so
he
he's
loves
gonna
to gamble,
intro-
and we're in Vegas, so I'm like, we got to
Yes.
run that.
You gotta run.
But
That would
anyways-
be so fun. Go ahead.
So 6 months before, Silverman's like, yeah, we're gonna team. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then like the time came, and I'm like, I don't really know. And this is like before I was really trying.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I'll tell you what. If you top the UDS, like you're going to Vegas. I'm like, all right, sure. So anyway, my friend cooked up the goo
Mm-hmm.
and it gives it to me. I'm like, this deck is like it's absurd.
So
So
you
it's
say
like
your
nobody.
friend real quick. Are you able to say who it is?
Yeah, his name is Steven Bronder. There was an ARG or a PPG or something like 2 weeks before the
Mhm.
UDS in Tulsa, and
Okay.
he got that deck from my friend in my local named Saul, who always gets mad at me because I never give him credit for the deck. But they gave me like they were like, this deck is good, and I was like, okay. And then like I like to think I'm a pretty good deck builder, so like I fixed the issues with the deck. There's
Yes.
still a bunch of issues, and it could have been way better looking back.
Mhm.
I should have played 3 Mystic Mine. It's
Well,
like my favorite card
hold
ever.
on. Let me interject right there. So you are correct. You should have played 3 Mystic Mine. So should every other player in Yu-Gi-Oh's history from 2019 up until 2022 when the card got banned, because there's no reason that no one was playing that card the way it should have been played, which is literally a Mystic Mine deck,
Yeah.
40 cards to support it, and no monsters. That literally won several tournaments in 2022 until they officially said, okay, we get it. Enough is enough. It took an actual deck based on Mystic Mine and nothing else for Konami. Like, it wasn't the Sky Striker deck. It wasn't the fucking deck that Hanzo won 2 national championships with. It literally took an actual 40 cards with 0 monsters and just Mystic Mine for Konami to realize, like, okay, maybe it is actually as bad as they say it is. But yes, every player in Yu-Gi-Oh's history that played the game from 2019 forward, when that card came out, I think it came out in 2019, should have
It's
been
like
playing
Upstart
Mystic Mine.
Goblin.
Yes. Like, you could correct every deck in the history by putting Mystic Mine and I wonder how many Metaverse there was back then, but I'm sure that every deck could have been better in that regard. But yes, you are correct, Scott.
Yeah, Mystic Mine it's my favorite card ever. So
Is it really? Like, it's your number?
Yeah,
is your
yeah.
number one? Oh my god!
are you
that's
kidding me? There's
so
you know how many
toxic.
games I've won because I just activated Mystic Mine?
So toxic.
The card is literally It's just insane.
So you got the goo from people at your locals, which is actually something that happens pretty commonly amongst some of the best Yu-Gi-Oh players in the world, right? People know the faces, they know the names of some of the people who like top a lot, who win a lot, all that stuff. But they rarely know, like sometimes ideas come from the guy at your locals who's been playing this random offbeat deck for a long time, or just has like some crazy idea, but he always does. No one usually listens to him because usually they're playing something that's just not good in reality. But every once in a while, that person or that group of people will have something that is genuinely gold. Like this is genuinely a really broken deck, but no one's on it, like you said. And not to say that these guys are like some bums that just happen to always have crazy strategies and you usually won't believe them. But I know from my experiences, from my perspective, I've topped events because of like with card choices or with decks, because of someone at my locals playing something that I'm like, I'm having a hard time in this matchup, or I literally lost the match, and it made me start to scratch my head like, I just lost to a guy at my local, so I usually beat like every time, and he's playing some what other people would call like a meme or bullshit. But I'm like, yo, I think this deck is actually not okay. Like the more you start to look at something, you're like, I don't think that's okay what it's doing. Like no one's talking about it. Everyone's like, oh no, this is the best deck. And you know, Yu-Gi-Oh players are like a hive mind. Like once the group decides that this is the best deck, it has the highest ceiling, you know, all of that. It's really hard to not go with the herd and just be like a Shizu tier, best deck, should play at every event, no question. And that, you know, that might be true. Or you could be like Dominic Couch, who almost just won a YCS with Flunderies because that deck typically doesn't have the best pilots. So he said, fuck it. This deck keeps getting to the finals of literally every YCS. Like Flunderies has been to the finals way too many times this year. And every time it comes down to, no offense, but the pilot just doing something that is less than ideal. And so I always said to myself, I wonder what would happen if a real person, like a super real person, picked up Flunderies and just played, and look at what happened. Immediately top 4. And if if he got to the finals, who knows what would have happened. But stuff like that does happen often in Yu-Gi-Oh, where these people come up with ideas that other people just aren't ready for. And it takes somebody with a good deck building mentality to push it to the next level and like edit the deck and make it better. Like they usually go a little too far in the tech choices, or like this card is just actually terrible, you don't need this in the deck. But yeah, editing is great. Editing is important. Editing is very important to doing well in Yu-Gi-Oh, and the editors don't get enough credit. So I'm glad that that you recognize that. But yeah, I appreciate you saying, like, shouting out the people who actually came up with the deck originally, and then you taking it to the next
for
level.
sure.
Yeah.
Like I would not have done anything. I would have probably played some other, you know, nonsense. But yeah, nobody even knew that deck was on the radar. Like it was literally not on anybody's radar.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and so the weird thing is, here's the weirdest part about you guys playing dinosaurs and like winning with it. You know Jarrett Randolph?
Yes.
And he, you know, Silverman calls him Trap Eater. People in the Philadelphia area call him Trap Eater.
By the way, that nickname is insane.
That nickname is wild, especially the origin of it. But so Jarrett Randolph is a good player from the Philadelphia area. He's from Delaware, but he always plays in like all the Philly locals. And he's been pretty much one of the best players in our area for a while now, especially because a lot of the other players quit. And he was playing,
shade.
I gotta call it like it is. This is the IMNerd Podcast. I am very blunt. Everyone knows this about me, but it's just true. I always say, and Silverman says it, McCabe says it, like Philly has gotten so much weaker because all of us quit. Like literally.
Hey, look at my area.
You had
my area
Billy,
is the epitome of that.
Yeah, you guys have some of the best players who ever played Yu-Gi-Oh, and all of them have quit pretty much. And like it's the same thing has happened to Philly. So Philly's best players, all the YCS champions in Philly, are just, except Shu Ping, right? Like Shu Ping is low key.
Yeah, I think Shu Ping's super nice.
Shu Ping is carrying Philly on his shoulders, and I guess actually Christian Arena is too, but like he's not.
Oh, he's the best player in my opinion.
Yes, like
You're not going to air this, right? You're not going to air this podcast.
Oh, this is 100% getting aired.
No, he cannot hear me
say that.
Writing him.
You
Yeah,
that
just cannot happen. Please edit that out.
There are 19. I'm 19 minutes and 40 seconds in. I will edit that out.
No, I'm trolling. You can put it out.
Yeah.
We can get to G later. That's like my guy.
Yes.
That's my guy.
Well, I knew him before he ever topped a single tournament. Like imagine.
Me too. I knew him when he was ass. So like now I know him when he's super nice.
So I have the craziest experience with like some of the best players who've ever played, because Furman is the same exact story. Like I knew Furman before he topped a single tournament ever. And the trajectory of like these people who come from our area, right? Like the tri-state, like Philly, Jersey, New York. Mm-hmm. It's really crazy to see what happens to the people that not gonna lie, and I've said this in a previous episode, but they kind of get teased in our groups. Like we low-key just straight up used to tease Furman, and like I know Steve and them used to tease like Christian and stuff like that. And when I say tease, like don't take it so serious, like, oh, like you bullied him or whatever. But when you don't have any tops or any wins or anything, and you're in a group of people who do have all of those things, you know how it is. Like, you know how the group chats get.
Yeah.
You know that people put rings up as soon as the arguments get crazy. They start just putting fucking rings. And it's just like, you can't really say anything because you don't have any. And that's just how toxic and fun, but it's fun. Like, it's so fucking fun. And those people tend to just, I don't know what happens, but something about the people who've gotten teased the most.
Yeah, it builds them up. Like, it gives them
gods. They surpass the whole group chat. Like, the whole group chat.
It lights a fire under them because I was the same way. Like, I was in a group with like me and my boys, and I hadn't topped for like 3 years. Like, I had like one top, like my first top.
Yeah.
Then I hadn't topped for like 3 years. So they're like, "Oh, when you topped, what did you win? Like a VCR?" And I'm like, "Yo!"
Oh,
like, that's crazy. So it's like, oh well, fuck you guys. Like, I have to you have to like rise above. You know, like you have to show them that you are that guy.
You know what the worst part
is crazy.
The worst part is
that's me all the time.
Half the people listening to this podcast might not know what a VCR is.
Yeah,
true.
That's the worst part.
Google VCR if you don't know what we're talking about, because it is actually that old. Like, that acronym, I don't even know what it means anymore.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't
Video,
think I've ever
something or other.
It has to be video, but we after that, I have no idea what VCR actually means. But it's wild that they would say that to you. But that is just a taste, because it gets worse than that. But that is a taste of how Yu-Gi-Oh group chats. It can
get much worse than that.
The top player group chats are always hilariously toxic, and the players who get teased the most, usually, in my experience, become fucking godly and surpass the entire group chat. There was a group chat we had. I think it was called 3.5 Champions or something. Ooh. And it was like me, Silverman, Jerry, and Furman. I think that was the group chat. And it was called something along the lines like 3.5 Champions or 3 Champions and a scrub. It was some ignorant ass name. Like, it was something ignorant. And eventually, I remember one day I came back to that group chat because it died after a while. I came back to that group chat. And I was like,
Furman is the nicest one.
I said, yo, how crazy is it that Furman has more accomplishments than everyone in here? Like, it is not close anymore. I was like, it's not close. Like, that is fucking wild. Like, that is insane to think about. But yeah, that's just how it be. So yeah, Christian has definitely surpassed everyone who's ever teased him in Yu-Gi-Oh's, like, pretty much ever. Like, the only person who could talk to Christian at this point is like the Chris LeBlancs of the world, the Jesse Cottons.
Right.
Like, that's it. Like, the list is very small. Like, the Billy Breaks, the Jeff Jones, like, those are the only people who could say anything to this new squad of elite duelists. But yeah, it's good to I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I love the community. Like, even if I don't necessarily play the game, like, I still just love the people so much. I even tried in 2010, I tried to quit Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I did quit Yu-Gi-Oh! in 2010 a little bit because Frog FTK was happening, to play Magic the Gathering. And Magic the Gathering, you know, it is what it is. Like, it's one of the first TCGs ever. So it has its flaws for sure. Like, I think the whole land system is terrible. And they just still won't fix that. But like, the land system is garbage. But I played it for a while when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was really bad, to just do something else in my time, because I would literally FTK people at my locals. And a 40-year-old man tried to fight me because I FTK'd him game 1. Game 2, while we were siding, he was like taking so long to side that I said, you know what? You win game 2. I'm going first again. And he literally looked up and like his face just turned beet red. Yes, he was that color. He fucking turned beet red. He turned beet red and he was like, "What'd you say to me?" And I was like, I said that you win game 2 and I'm going to go first game 3. So like,
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be fucking pissed.
He was so angry because he was an older guy. He did construction. He was 40 years old, and he used to come to play Yu-Gi-Oh! As therapy for himself.
Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah, he works construction. He works fucking in the sun. This is in the summertime, I think, because Frog FTK was definitely summer of.
Yeah, that was a national day.
Yes, yep. So it was summer of that year. So it was hot as fuck. He comes in, he's like done construction Sunburn. All day. Yup, he's pissed off already because work is just terrible in the summertime for construction workers. And here my little black ass goes telling him, you don't get to play a single game of you. He didn't get to play a game. Like,
you don't get therapy for the next 40 minutes.
Yes. So he literally sits down round 1, gets me. I too owe him, and he doesn't get to play a card and doesn't get to draw his 6th card in either game. And he loses his shit. And like, I was really smug about it too. So I was just taunting him low key.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Hello?
Yes, exactly. There you go. I was super smug about it. I was way younger, obviously. This is 12 years ago. So I was way younger, way more smug, and he could not deal. And I remember he said, "Motherfucker, do you want to go outside?" And at the time, I was like, "Man, I'm a kid compared to this guy. Like, he had a wife and kids and everything." So I was looking at him like, is he really serious? But he was so angry. So yeah, I quit Yu-Gi-Oh to play Magic. And during my time playing Magic, I just realized, like, as much as I liked the game at that time, because Jace the Mind Sculptor was out and a lot of cool things were happening in Magic, the community, I can't fuck with the Magic the Gathering community at all. I just do not like the people. The player base has never resonated with me. There are so many, I don't know what the proper word is to call them, but they're just not fun. Like, to put it simply and to not get like too derogatory on them, because I could go in harder, but they just weren't the kind of fun people that the Yu-Gi-Oh community has. Like, don't get me wrong, Yu-Gi-Oh has some problematic people for sure, especially back then.
Every community for sure.
Every community, exactly. Every community has problematic people. Yu-Gi-Oh is one of the craziest communities I've ever been in.
Yeah.
But Magic is just like, it's so outrageously boring to me, just how the people are and how serious they are. And like, a lot of my jokes would just go over their head. Like, they don't catch on to a lot of things. And a lot of them are older too. So when you try to trade with them, this is one of my biggest complaints too. And we'll get back to like the main part of this podcast, but like, one of my biggest complaints with the Magic the Gathering community is that I realized, and I was very young, but I realized that money doesn't really move them the way it does people in Yu-Gi-Oh. For example, if I need a card in Yu-Gi-Oh, I could literally walk up to somebody and pay the price and get the card, right? In Magic, because the players are older, typically have careers and like they just don't need money, you walk up to somebody and they'd have a page of like something that you need, like a fucking page of it in their binder.
Yeah, like a $40 card, and you're like, "Yo, I'll give you $40 for that. It's worth
yes,
$40."
That was me, because I would be so frustrated, and I'm not really a cheap guy because I don't like trading, so I'm not a cheap guy when it comes to just getting the cards if I need them. So I'd be like, "Yo, what do you want for this?" And they'll like, "Oh, let me see your trades." I'll show them my trades, and they're like, "I don't really see anything I want." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine," because I'm new to Magic, so my binder's not the craziest yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I will just pay you for it. This is something very normal in the Yu-Gi-Oh world, and something that works 99.9% of the time in the Yu-Gi-Oh world too.
Money talks.
And they're just like, no, I don't really accept cash for cards. And I'm like, well, why not? That's what it's worth. Like, we would go on this site called the blacklotus.com or something like that. I think that was what it was called. And it basically was their TCG player way back in the day. It would just have the actual market price of every card. So you just put in a card and just make sure that nobody can get cheated out of anything. You're getting your full value. This is the average price of the card. This is the high. This is the low. It gives you everything, right? All analytics you need. And I'd be like, "Yo, I'll pay you. Like, this is what the card's worth. Like, are you good with it?" And they'd be like, "Absolutely not." Like, they just would not budge. And I'm like, "But you have a page of it. You have 9 of them." Like, I'm looking at 9 of them. And they're like, "Nah, I don't really want the money. I'd rather get like actual cards for it." And I get it the older I am now, because for me, when somebody wants to buy a card from me, for example, if they say like, "Oh, I bought it off you for X amount," and I'm just like, well, at that point, I'd rather keep it. Like, I don't really need the money in terms of like what sometimes the card is just like, if a card is $1, I'm not selling it. That's just me personally. I'm just not selling it, because
when you have a job, that's the thing. Like, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are a younger crowd, and they don't have jobs, or they have like McDonald's jobs or whatever,
right?
Like low paying like starter jobs, right?
Yeah, it's
especially if you're young and in school, whatever. And so anyway, when you have a job, even outside of trading card games, it's insane how much, not that money doesn't matter, but how much less impact it could have. Like, you giving me $40 for that card doesn't change my life in any way. It doesn't make my bills easier, and then me paying $40 for a card doesn't really make my bills harder. Like, and it's like,
what I didn't understand about people in Magic was that they are natural investors in that game. They naturally have a mindset to hold until prices skyrocket, because they just all like in 2010, they had already known that prices get outrageous because they already had Moxes and Black Lotus and things like
cards.
They had their old cards become thousands of dollars. About 2010, Magic cards were already thousands of dollars. The Power 9 was crazy in 2010. And obviously in 2020, it went like through, you could buy a house off of Power 9. But they knew already as an investment, like, old cards go up so exponentially. So they just naturally held on the cards longer. And now we're seeing that happen in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So in 2020, Yu-Gi-Oh cards just went crazy if you had old shit. Like, old Ultimate Rares didn't even matter what it was. Old Ghost Rares didn't matter what it was. If you have a Ghost First Edition anything, you have a fucking Ulti First Edition anything. In 2020, you were getting thousands of dollars for it, no matter, I don't care what it was. And that's just like, something that now the community understands, like, okay, so holding cards actually does have intrinsic value in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like it's not as simple as the game is young, it's only been out for, less than 20 years, and Legend of Blue Eyes cards, while they could be expensive in 2010, they weren't as crazy as they are now. Like Legend of Blue Eyes first edition cards now are fucking insane. Like it's not even, it's just unreal what a box of Legend of Blue Eyes first edition goes for in 2022. Like tens of thousands of dollars for an LOB first edition box.
Yeah, they don't exist.
They don't exist, yeah. So that was my little like tangent on me trying Magic and like how different the communities are between Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have you ever tried any other card games, Scott?
I played, I don't know if you guys are going to know what this game is. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is mainly the only game I've ever played, but I played a game basically just for fun called Yugioh.
I remember Yugioh.
Do you know what Yugioh is?
Isn't that Duel Masters? Is that Duel Masters?
Yeah, it's basically Duel Masters rebooted.
Yep.
And I remember playing, and like there was all these broken cards, and you had to wait like 10 turns to play them. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! My whole life, so I'm like, ooh, I'm going to play this insane card on my first turn. And I'm just like sitting there, I'm like, put mana down, do some nonsense. Next turn, I'll put mana down. I guess I'll talk to me in 8 turns. In 8 turns, it's going down.
Talk to me in 8 turns.
It's just I just didn't have fun not being able to do like whatever the fuck I wanted to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up. I have a student who's Kenny's cousin, actually, and I've been teaching him Edison format, teaching him Goat format. He just started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2020 during the pandemic because we were working from home, and great time to get into anything, right? So I told him the reason why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the most difficult card game. I told him that the reason is because in Yu-Gi-Oh! You can literally do anything. You can do turn 1, play all of your cards, or you can literally play none of your cards. And there are times when either of those situations are correct. Like in Edison format, you could do nothing turn 1, and that is the right play. In modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, you will die. You need to play all of your cards in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Usually. Otherwise, you will die, and you won't get to play them ever. So, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just such a complicated game because of the decision tree that you have. It's literally as much as you want or as little as you want. And that is a crazy thing to grasp, because when you play things like Hearthstone and Magic and Kaijudo, games where you can charge 1 mana per turn and essentially do one thing per turn, it literally controls the player. Like it controls you from being bad. It controls you from making.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, you can't make that many decisions. It's the same thing as why I don't think Goat format is as great as a lot of people believe it is, because in Goat format, you have 20 normal summons in your deck. And that seems cool and all if you want to play like a really nice slow game, but at the end of the day,
some people that like that. Yeah, like, hey, if you like that, go for it.
Exactly. I play Edison format. I'm playing Boomer Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. So like I
love Edison format. I
love it too. But like I understand that I am playing Boomer Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I can go like past my turn 1 and I won't die.
You won't die. Yeah.
And people hate that. Like people, like the Christian Arenas of the world, the packs, like all of those guys who are enjoying like modern Yu-Gi-Oh! They might go back to Edison and be like, this shit is so outrageously slow. Like, how do people do this? Because they're used to literally killing their opponent before they even draw a card, right? And meanwhile, in Edison format, I'm like Gold Sark turn 1, which is the craziest concept for a 2022 player. Like, you're going to wait 2 turns to get a card? That's wild. But that is why Yu-Gi-Oh! is really difficult. And I think like Goats, to a point, Goats is a format where like you can do usually one thing per turn. Like you can set Magician of Faith or set Gravekeeper Spy or set Crimson Serpent if you want, like that type of thing. And your decision tree is very, very small because you can only do 1 normal summon per turn, and your deck is comprised of mostly normal summons and Goats. Like there's not that many special summons in that format. And as Yu-Gi-Oh! Goes on, you can just do more and more and more turn 1 and more and more every turn that progresses after that. Like Edison format is a power crap Goat format. Like it has a lot of normal summons, but then out of nowhere, your opponent can also just go summon Blizzard. Blizzard, bring back a guy. Special Gale, Special Boar, Synchro, make this guy drop Dark Arm. And next thing you know, you're like, wait a second. Like I got modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Just now. Like this guy just played modern Yu-Gi-Oh! In 1 turn out of nowhere. And that could happen.
Sometimes in Edison, I'm scared to pass because like the modern Yu-Gi-Oh! In me is like, oh, if I pass, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And then they're like, set a monster pass. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on.
That's the best.
I got a chance here.
Like, yeah. Every time somebody sets a monster, I don't care what deck they're even playing. If you set a monster in Edison format, I am so happy because I start off the format liking setting monsters. I liked Raiko a lot. I liked Hamster and stuff like that. And those cards they're fine. Like there's decks that play them and they're fine, right? But I got so jaded midway through my Edison experience that I just hate setting monsters now, which is why I'm primarily a Blackwing and Light Torn player now. I just want to be face up most of the time. Like I can't deal with turn one, my opponent won the die roll, they drew 6, which is crazy. And then they get to set up, it's fucking crazy, right? Like it's crazy that there's no decision making when you win a die roll. There's none. And that's something we could talk about later too. But in Edison format, you win a die roll, you go first, you set Ryko. And now it's my turn, I'm going second, and I have a Ryko too. I hate that. Like I hate that entire thing. It bothers me so much. And it's made me very, very jaded. This whole like, who gets to set a monster first? Even with the zombie deck, like me and Nazar were playing recently. We uploaded a video to our YouTube, and like we had Goblin Zombie in a mirror match, but our opponent went first and set his Goblin Zombie. So now he gets he gets to Kai's me.
That's like the Kai's problem. That's like a big reason why there's so many decks that like are just not good.
Yeah.
It's like if you're setting a like your deck loses on turn 2 to Kai's.
Yes, we literally have a video. I think it's I guess I didn't upload the second one, but we have me and Nazar have a second video that I haven't put up yet. But in the second video, we play a zombie mirror match, and game 1, the guy wins the die roll, and the exact worst case scenario happens. He opens up like set Goblin Zombie, and then he Kai's our Goblin Zombie or our turtle or our tomato.
It sucks.
And then we just lose the game. Like he has, by the end of game 1, he has so many more cards than us and just like done so much damage that there was no real way to win outside of some random return from different dimension, like OTK if we were lucky. The game 2, spoiler alert, we get to set Goblin Zombie first, and he fucking gets destroyed. Like
Kai's problem.
Yeah, he by Kai, you're not wrong. It literally was like end phase, wing blast your back row, draw, Kai SU, game's over. Like the game fucking ended insta. And I just thought to myself, this isn't the most skill intensive thing. Like there was nothing to that. He did the same thing to us. We did the same thing to him. And game 3, honestly, it's probably going to be the same. It's spoiler alert. It was. He went first again.
Going first is like, and every format has its issues, but that's just something you just grow to accept.
Yes.
Like when you play Edison, you're just like, okay, well, I mean, what am I going to do? Not set this Goblin Zombie?
Yes.
Like, he's going to Kai's me and I'm probably cooked.
And what you're saying, like what are you going to do? Not set it? That mindset, that thought, that is so triggering for me because you are right. What are you going to do? Like there's so many times when I'm like, I don't want to play into it, but I literally can't do anything else. Yeah, you like, what are you
like?
If
you have Diva Goblin Zombie, like you have to set.
You literally fucking have to set your Pyramid Turtle, your Goblin Zombie, your Tomato turn 1, and accept the fact that if they have Kai's, you probably lose. Like you probably actually factually lose. But that's Yu-Gi-Oh, and I love the game still, and I love my Boomer Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm glad that so many people are getting into it. Like I'm so glad about that.
Yeah, it's something that happens in Modern when Modern either is ass or it's boring. I feel like the format, I mean, I don't play, keep in mind I don't play, but I feel like the format right now is like the best format of all time ever. Because everybody that plays it tells me, yo, one mistake and like you're just dead in the ditch.
Cooked.
Yeah.
Cooked.
So, and like that's what it is. Like my friend, okay, this is a crazy story. My friend was like, like at the last YCS, he's like, yo, give me Jesse Cotton. They're both X2, like round, like, was it round 9? Or there's 10 rounds, so it's the first round of day 2, round 9. He's like, yo, give me Jesse Cotton, give me Jesse Cotton. And I'm like, you need to calm down.
Right. Like, why do you want one of the top 5 players?
I'm trying to play a guy that's like, drooling at the mouth. He can like barely put his fucking hands together. Anyway, so he plays Jesse Cotton round 9. And he's like, oh, I was like, well, you got what you wished for. And he told me, he came up to me after the round. He's like, oh, I'm so mad. I made one tiny mistake and I lost the whole game because of it. He was like, if I played anybody else in the room, there's no way they would play that perfect. I'm like, you asked for this.
Yes.
Like, you asked to play the GOAT.
You asked to play the fucking machine. Like he's actually a machine.
Literally.
The guy.
And I'm just like, you asked for this. What do you want me to like? What do you want me to tell you? Oh damn, that sucks. Like, no.
I have nothing but belief that the format has to be good because the people who have been doing well in the last 6 months are cracked out of this world. So if we just go over some of the more recent YCSs that I've seen, we got Joshua Schmidt, 3-time YCS champion. We got Chris LeBlanc winning his 4th YCS, fucking absurd. You got Christian Urena winning the remote duel YCS like last weekend. You have Hani Jawari winning his 2nd YCS after a 3v3 YCS win, so he now has a solo one. And the list goes on. Like there's just so many. Like I'm forgetting people in that span of just, this is only the last few months, by the way. Like this is not, that wasn't even a 6-month span that I just gave you. That was just like the last 2 or 3 months. And all of the people that I just named, Jesse Cotton won again. My bad, I forgot. Jesse got a win after getting 3rd.
Yeah,
no, getting
after
second,
like 4
4 times in 1 year, that's some Billy Break shit. Like he's insane. And then he finally gets a win right before the year's end. Like, I'm not leaving this fucking year until you guys give me a win. Like, somebody's going to cough up a win in one of these finals. It's crazy that the people who are good are so consistent right now, but it has to, in my head, the format has to be somewhere decent for them to perform this well so often.
Yeah, it can't just be luck.
It just can't be.
It's there. I mean, it could be, but the same people just doing well over and over again is just
right.
They must be the luckiest people in the world, you know.
Yes, because it's basically it's possible, but it is improbable.
Yeah, you said people are playing Edison. I was gonna get to the point where if modern format is really boring, people will be like, okay, well, I'm done here. I'm just gonna go, do something else, because like you can only play so much of the same thing, and it's also just mirror. And if you're already, like you can't really learn more once you get to a certain point in each format.
Right.
It's like you could be a grandmaster in chess, and you could train. You're not gonna get much better. You're gonna be insane. Period.
Right.
So,
that's
but
true.
People are going back to play like Edison format and stuff, and I'm having a good ass time playing Edison.
Yeah, I saw you recently played in an online tournament. I actually watched you played against a guy named Hydropump. He is a patron of ours, and he's one of the earliest patrons. So shout out to Hydropump. But Hydropump is usually a Dragon Turbo player, and he finally
He's been playing Blackwings a lot.
Well, he finally corrected his behavior, because Dragon Turbo is just not a very good deck. Like it is just not, it's the casino. Like if you want to play Dragon Turbo,
it is the casino.
Just go to the casino. It's the same exact thing. Like it is the most casino deck I've ever seen, because it can absolutely.
That's a deck that'll trick you. It's kind of like Lightsworn, where like you do crazy things.
Yes.
4 games in a row, and you're like, oh my god, this deck is insane. Yep. But what you don't see is when you're like, set to pre-dragon. I guess I'll pass.
Yes.
Like. That deck will trick you. Same with Lightsworn and stuff like that.
It has an allure to it, and it's also fun because Yu-Gi-Oh players, we all are like this. We like drawing cards.
We like doing things. Period.
Every single Yu-Gi-Oh player loves drawing cards, and that deck draws more cards than any deck in the game. It fucking get end phase, super drew for 6, super drew for 6, super drew for 6. Cards of consonants, draw 2, search blue eyes, literally pot of greed. Like it does so much crazy shit, and it feels so good when it's working. Oh, it's crack. Like it is crack when it's working. But when you go pass and your opponent went first and they set Goblin Zombie, guess what? You're actually dead. Not joking. You lost that game right there. You actually factually die. Like my set Goblin Zombie goes from like, oh, I was just going to do Caius to you die.
You have to do a lot of damage. Yes.
And sometimes, there's always going to be nowadays, like there will be one Dragon Turbo player who gets in the top cut of a tournament. But I don't expect that deck I don't expect it to ever win unless it's someone's day super hard, because at some point the deck is going to catch up to itself. You're just going to run into a guy who you might be better than, and it doesn't matter that you're better than them, because your deck is just going to say, you don't get to play this game. Like you just.
Yeah, I remember. Go ahead, Kenny. My bad.
No, I was just going to say those decks can always get like a top spot, because that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just has to roll. It's just to roll well a couple times, but for it to roll well 10 games in a row is like it can roll well enough, but eventually it's going to fizzle out, and it doesn't have any back foot. Like once it's on the back foot, it doesn't play back from that. So it's like
yes. Also, I just want to say this too, because a lot of Edison format tournaments right now are still on the smaller end, and Dragon Turbo actually benefits vastly from playing less rounds.
Yeah,
less rounds the better for you.
So I even tell people like at locals. We have a 3-round local. It's 3 rounds no matter what, because it starts at 7:00. So the store has to close at a certain time. And so it's 3 rounds. And then usually we'll do a cut to like top 8, and then we'll play 1 round and top 4 split. Everybody gets, half of a box or whatever. That's the usual thing, unless there's a lot of people, and then it gets, greater. But because it's 3 round Swiss, no matter what, no matter how many people show up, it's 3 rounds no matter what. So because of that, Dragon Turbo at my locals is actually a good deck to play. Like you can just high roll in a night and cream everybody. Like no one beat you. You only had to win. Really, only got to win 2 rounds. But like you could easily do a 3-rounder and be done with it. But if the tournament was 11 rounds, like YCSs are now, like every YCS is 11 rounds now. If a tournament was 11 rounds and you're playing Dragon Turbo, good fucking luck.
Yeah,
like,
you're probably going X3 every time.
Like, not even joking. Like, good. I don't care how good you are. Like, you could say, oh, like you could be good with the deck. At the end of the day, the deck is just going to decide sometimes that you don't get to play. And over the course of 11 rounds, it is really difficult. And let's be clear, when I say 11 rounds, I'm talking about 11 rounds with real killers in the tournament. Like like YCS level people, because what Edison is still very young in terms of it's funny, I'm talking about 12-year-old format. Like Edison is still very young in its adoption. Like a lot of the killers of Yu-Gi-Oh are just now starting to take interest in it, because it's what you said, they're getting bored of modern, and so now they're officially going back to Edison. And what you're going to see is that there's going to be a takeover where some of the best modern players start taking Edison seriously, and they start fucking taking over Edison format. Like that is just going to happen eventually. And so right now, Edison tournaments, they are in this weird spot where like you'll play somebody, and like for example, me and Nazar played the guy, and he literally when Goyo Guardian attacked your tomato, he took it.
I saw that part of the video. I laughed pretty hard.
It was took the tomato. Let's go.
He attacked Goyo Guardian attacked your tomato, and he took the tomato. Like that is, but that's not even like that's just such a crazy thing to happen. But that would never happen these days.
I want to get that guy on the podcast. Like I want to interview him. I want to know.
The one thing that I've noticed for sure in Edison is, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a 6 in Edison so far. I'm still learning a lot.
Yeah.
You brought up that match versus the Hydro Pump guy. Actually, that is the match that like showed me that, damn, if you played perfectly, you're gonna win for sure. Like there's no world where you're supposed to win, but if you played perfectly, you're going to win. Because like there was like a weird interaction. He's like Black Whirlwind, summon Sirocco, and like it's like a 5 back row thing.
Yep, I saw it. It was so good.
And I knew he had Solemn. He's like Blackwings. He just kept drawing like such good cards back to back to back. I'm like, I just can't win.
Let me just interject real quick. I messaged him last night and said, I just watched your video where you played against Scott Page or whatever. And I said, you draw broken as fuck with the Blackwing. Like he draws broken with Dragon Turbo because he got 3rd at a tournament with Dragon Turbo. No, I'm sorry. I think he got second. So Hydro Pump has like absolutely dominated some of the online Edison tournaments. And it's funny because he posts the replays on his
I want to
YouTube.
watch that.
He posts his replays. So the funniest thing you'll ever see, Scott, watch his Dragon Turbo 2nd place video where he shows every match he plays. So you get to see his opening hand. You see his opponents. He
draws crazy.
Bro, he opens Future Fusion specifically. He specifically opens Future Fusion in like, not even joking, the first 5 or 6 games straight of the video. So like several matches, like 2-0 this opponent, 2-0 this opponent, 2-0 this opponent, Future Fusion, Future Fusion, Future Fusion, Future Fusion, like just constantly. It is so funny to watch because I'll then go on
playing the right deck then for sure.
Oh, 100%.
He's playing the right deck.
I'll go on Dueling Book and then I'll play his exact list just for funsies. And hand is Blue Eyes, White Stone, Super Rejuvenation. Like, I'm like, okay, like that shit is just so broken when you draw absolutely nuts, but it's not real to draw Future Fusion every game. But then I watched him play this tournament where he got 3rd or top. He got top 4. He got top 4 at the tournament that you guys played each other in. And I watched the VOD last night, and round 1, I think was you. And then he showed round 2 and he opened up like Whirlwind, bunch of fucking broken shit every game again. And I just started laughing. So I messaged him in the Discord and I said, you open Whirlwind, Shora, Icarus attack like it's your actual fucking day job. Like it's your actual factual job to do so. But anyway, go ahead. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, that was the game where I was like, I was thinking about it in my head, and I never do this, but I went back and I watched our match. Because like I had the read, obviously, that he had Solemn because he had so many back rows. So I was like, okay, I could like because he goes Sirocco for Gale, and if you go back and watch, it's really funny. Special Gale, and I go, uh-oh, because I know he ripped Dark Armed. I'm like, Dark Arm's the only way I lose. So okay, I had some sort of backer, I can't remember, but I was like, Solemn ends me. I can live, and then I kill him next turn. I was like, as long as I get a turn, I kill him because I have double Honest in my hand, or maybe it's just 1 Honest. But I was like, it was just point where like he's dead 100%.
Yep.
And I remember I lost in the time I lost, but if I was better, I win the game every time. So that match is the one that showed me like if you get better, you can win these unwinnable games.
Yes, because here's the situation for people who are listening. Scott and Hydro Pump both had a lot of set back rows. The game was very, very close. And essentially it came down to when Hydro has Whirlwind on the field, if he
flipped the Whirlwind. So I knew for sure he had a Solemn.
Yes. So he has Whirlwind on the field and his hand is Dark Arm Sirocco, but he can't drop Dark Arm no matter what he does unless he gets a Whirlwind Search. That's just how that works. So his graveyard has 1 dark, and if he gets a Whirlwind Search, he gets Gale, he synchros, and he drops Dark Arm. So Scott has MST set, and Scott also has Bottomless Trap Hole set. Hydro Pump has Solemn Judgment set. So if Scott were to go, when you flip Whirlwind, for no reason at all, but for a really good reason, MST Whirlwind right now.
Yeah, that's the exact situation. And I was like, okay, well, I can bottom exactly. I could bottomless this guy.
And he would solemn.
I don't get solemn.
Yes.
No, I don't get solemned. Like he's like flip Whirlwind. I'm like, okay, MST or other one. He's like, okay. So solemn goes away because I knew where it was because the other ones he had more back rows or like another back row, and it wasn't where the original like 3 or 4 set were or whatever.
Sure.
So it's clearly solemn. And even if it's Starlight Road, I still win because I was MST and I just bottomless this guy and he's dead. You explained it perfectly.
Yep. I literally was up at 1 a.m. watching it. Like, I'm not even kidding. I literally watched the match. I analyzed it and everything. I was like, oh shit, Scott actually wins. But it wasn't easy to see that. Like and that's what you're saying too, is like the more you play, the better you get. The more you'll have a feel for what you lose to. You're like, oh, I only lose here to Dark Armed, but like
I remember thinking in my head, I don't die unless he has Dark Armed, and even if he has Dark Armed, I like looking back at the time, I'm like, oh, okay, if I just did this, I had a chance. And again, that's what showed me like, yo, you could be good at this format. Like this format is very skillful, and you could just get better at it. Because right now, I'm really not very good at it. I'll be honest. But I will get better. I
keep learning Edison format as I play it. It's so nice to have humbling experiences in Edison. Now, granted, I've definitely had my fair share of bad beats. Like my first ever Edison tournament, I played in RBET2, I think. And the replay from that shit is so funny. I posted it in my Discord. But I literally didn't get to play round 1. Like round 1, my opponent, and he ended up topping the event, thank God. I should have known he was going to top the event, but the way it started, so he wins the die roll, or wins rock, paper, scissors. Frame 1, turn 1, game 1. He goes, charge of the Light Brigade.
Good start.
Mills Wolf, Mills Plague. The game immediately falls apart. He goes summon Card Trooper, mill 3, hits a Necrogardener. I was like, oh.
This guy's nice.
So I was like, oh. So I just won't even get to slightly pretend that I can play this game. Like, I won't even. And then game 2, because you think that it like ends there. In game 2, I open up a regular, because I'm playing the fairy deck. I open up a regular hand, like Shining Angel or D.D. Worley, something like that. And he goes, like, trap Dust Shoot you. Mind you, he's going second. When he trap Dust Shoots me, sees my hand, sees that my hand is not the best. And then on his following turn, he just absolutely Lumina Garoth ODs on me. Like fucking, because like I think he sees Mirror Force, so he knows not to attack with Lumina Garoth. And he just like Lumina Garoths me in face, draws some cards, gets all this advantage, spun back my only like Herald of Orange Light play. So like now I can't even stop the Lumina Garoth. I just got fucking destroyed. And I was like, well, I didn't get to play that round. I got 2-0. I didn't get to do anything. There was no decision making for me. There was nothing I could have done about Trap Dust Shoot. Game 2, take away Orange Light, summon Lumina Garoth, kill you. And game 1, charge Light Brigade for Wolf, Plague Spreader, summon Card Trooper, mill 3, hit Gardener. And then it's funny, I tried to meagerly game 1 go summon D.D. Worley to attack Card Trooper. He wouldn't even let me. Like it was just one of those like
it's a steamroll.
Scott, he wouldn't even let me. Like it wouldn't change anything if I got to go banish Card Trooper. But
and he's like, nah, you're not even gonna get to that.
Look out of sheer spite. I don't want to lose life points this game. He's like, guarding that. And I just get fucking Celestia.
That's actually crazy, by the way.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's Scott. It was so.
I'm not going to let you attack my Card Trooper.
Yes. With a DD Warrior Lady. Like the worst that can happen is you take 1100.
Oh no, 1-for-1. No.
God forbid, right? Like, God fucking forbid. But I just said, this is and I literally laughed. Like as it happened, I laughed. And then as soon as I started getting steamrolled, I typed I have a group chat with some of my friends. And I typed in a group chat, I'm getting fucking destroyed, by the way. Like,
I hate that. I hate that because, like, when I play in the Edison, like, okay, first of all, my luck in these Edison tournaments is so bad.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost unreal.
So bad.
I don't know what to, like, say other than the algorithm on Dueling Book, because I'm such a conspiracy theorist. But I have several things that I hate about Dueling Book. One of them is just that you don't get the physical player interaction that Yu-Gi-Oh! Requires to take it to the next level. Yu-Gi-Oh! Just needs the physicality of human bodies. It makes the game way more real. But Dueling Book specifically, agree 100%. The situations that happen, the 1-outers that happen so often, it's a little unrealistic because I play Edison in person too. Like, it's not like I just play Dueling Book. I actually play in person a lot. And the shit that happens on Dueling Book never happens in person. It's
I feel the same
crazy.
way. Like the games in real life are like natural games. They're like real games. And the games that happen on DB are like not real. It's crazy. Like I always say, the most drawn card in Edison format is Brain Control. Because I play on DB so much. It's like, like literally my opponent will start making a play and I'll just pass my monster over to my opponent. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, just brain control me already. And they're like, it's actually mind control this time.
Like,
I'm like, okay, sure.
Yes.
What's the difference? I'm dead anyway.
Yep. I agree with you 100%. And it's funny, hearing you say that is only going to make my conspiracy theories even more of a reality, because I also realized that Dueling Book has this weird glitch. And I don't know if people notice already, but there's something about when you shuffle a card back into the deck and redraw it immediately.
You draw it again, yeah.
So it happens a lot with Trap Dust Shoot. Trap Dust Shoot being the most common one, where you return something. So your opponent looks at your hand. You'll return, like, I don't know, a Gale. You'll return Gale to your deck. You'll shuffle your deck blatantly, and then the next turn you'll just draw Gale again. It has happened so many times that now that I record pretty much all of my games, I'm able to kind of document this and show, like, look at the log. The log says shuffle deck. Right? Like, me and all my friends, we all have this weird glitch happen so often. So now we shuffle twice.
Yeah, I shuffle like 6 times after I get dust shooted.
We shuffle twice, at least twice, on Dueling Book after a Trap Dust Shoot, just to make sure that we don't draw the card again. And, you know, it's weird because on one hand you could say, well, if you want to draw the card again, you could shuffle one time on purpose, and then you're just going to draw Stratos again. Like, I've had literally my Stratos get returned, and then the next time I just draw Stratos, like, fuck, I only shuffle once.
Pay attention to the one-ofs that you draw in Dueling Book. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, the algorithm treats one-ofs very weird, and it definitely makes the games seem so much more unrealistic. The games are just way more unrealistic than they are in person. Like, the thing, like you said, Brain Control is the most drawn card. The Heavy Storms, the Trap Dust Shoots, all of the one-offs just come Dark Arm. Like, it's just crazy how often they come off the top when they need to come off the top too. It's like
it's kind of crazy.
You need it.
Maybe that's just us like looking for copium. Like, we're losing. We have to be losing for like this specific reason.
Well,
I feel that same way though.
I would agree if it wasn't for the two reasons, like, one, playing in person, and secondly, the whole, like, if this doesn't happen, this game is over 100% in my favor. Like, the one outers are crazy. Like, it's just specifically, I don't mind if my opponent just opens a hand, right?
Yeah, they draw crazy. Like,
if you're 6, yeah, right, because that could happen in person. That does happen in person. Like, sometimes people
like, oh my god, you drew insane. Like, the amount of times I've said that IRL is fucking insane.
I've had people in person. I felt so bad. My opponent opened up Lone Fire, Titanial, Foolish Burial, Sand Dandelion, right, instead of back row. And I think I went Heavy Storm, Whirlwind Shore, get Colute.
Later, bozo.
Attack over Titanial, Colute, get Vayu, attack a token, main phase 2, Synchro for Catastor, set deck Devi, go, draw phase deck Devi, he drops his whole hand.
Just that guy's just sick. Just sick.
I felt so bad. I was like, Jesus, my hand was insane. Like, it was a fucking perfect hand. But that is different from, you need to draw one card in your deck, and it's the only card you could draw. It's at 1, and if you don't draw it, you 100% you lose the game. Like, 100% you lose the game if you don't draw this one card. The amount of times that specifically happens is just wild. Like, it's like heart of the cards nonsense. So yeah, it is copium. At the same time, it's also really funny how often it happens. And again, this doesn't happen that often in real life. So that's why it's just
in like IRL, my matches are like so much easier than DB.
Yes.
Like, they're literally so much easier. I'm like, this game is going literally exactly as planned.
Yeah, and
DB, that never happens.
And I mean, I read people off their physicality a lot of the time too. Like, people are so easily read in person. It is just a thing that happens. Like, when people literally sit there and huff and puff about their hand, like, that tells you don't have shit. They're not. Yeah. People aren't joking when they're like, when they draw their cards and they're mad about it. Like, that's not. I don't know anyone who's that good of a bluffer where they pretend like they're angry, but then their hand is actually broken.
Do you remember when I got second to Patrick and you were commentating my match?
This was what event?
2013 Dragon Rulers. This is so long ago.
Okay, so this is the ARG maybe?
Yeah, I drew fucking ass game 3, and like, I'm shuffling my hand, and like I like bang my hand on the table like just to like shuffle my hand. And Fraser, you literally go, "Oh, he is banging his hand on the table. His hand is not good." And I remember looking back, I'm like, "Yeah, my hand is unplayable. My hand is fucking horrible."
Yeah,
so that goes to show that like
yeah, it's very
it's
real.
just emotion. It's definitely very, very real.
And that's something that you don't get on DB. Like DB, I have no idea. And that's only one of the things, right? It's not just that. There are other little things. But for the weirdos out there who think that like, oh, maybe it's some other reason why you're so good in person and not necessarily that great on DB, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
In the last several years of me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And also up until now, if you ever watch me play, you'll know I do not pick up people's deck at all. I shuffle.
just cut their shit.
I shuffle everyone's deck face down. I have a very specific shuffle. I forget exactly what the name of it is, but I saw videos of ways to shuffle decks, and one of them is literally you never ever turn the deck on its face. So I'll never see a person's bottom card. I'll never know what they're playing before the match. I literally have this specific shuffle. If you watch any video of me playing in person, you will see me do it. But I keep the deck face down. I take the bottom of the deck and I just kind of throw it to the top constantly.
Yeah, I've seen you do it.
Yep, I do it all the time. I do it in every duel. I don't care if it's tournament. I don't care if it's fucking casual. I literally, it's my shuffle. I do it every single time. I've been doing it fucking years, like absolute years. I love it so much because it removes all suspicion. The one thing I'd never want is like some people thinking that any of my success is attributed to anything other than people are bad and I am not. Like,
yeah, there you go.
But to put it bluntly, so I know that there are people who are like, oh, well, Dueling Book, you can't do this and that. It's like, I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. I just want to completely go into like, I have a very specific shuffle. And honestly, like anyone who thinks that the people who are good in in-person Yu-Gi-Oh! Are doing stuff 99% of the time are people who are just mad, like stay mad. You're going to be mad.
Ass.
Right. You're just like, stay mad. Like if you need copium to understand why people are really, really good at the game, they put in way more time than you. They're better than you. Some people are just built different. That is just the reality of the situation. Yes, the game definitely has some players who are fucking nasty with the cheats. And I have a whole Patreon exclusive episode with Kenny where we talk about stories of people who are insane with the hands and insane with the things they've done to get wins or tops and stuff like that. So if you want access to that video, just check out the IMNerd Podcast Patreon. Little shameless plug right there. But yeah, it's really interesting what happens on DB as opposed to in person. But I still love playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And honestly, a lot of times because it's DB anyway, I just laugh now. Like I can't take it seriously. Like I just laugh. Like I just like, this is fucking you click replay and you're like, what happened? Did he draw the heavy or did he have the heavy? And you watch the replay and the guy literally rips the heavy and then, drops Dark Arm and all that. And it's like, okay, well, he had the heavy storm because if he didn't have heavy storm, no other card in his deck could have saved him right there. So.
Yeah, the one-outers are the worst.
Yeah, but I agree with you 100%. If you play Edison and you continually play Edison, you will get better at it. And it'll get to a point where you can minimize your games down to you can't win unless you have this one card. And that's a good position to be in a lot of the time anyway. Like most games in Edison format, if both players are good, you're not going to outright blow them out if they drew playable, right? Like if they just drew playable, it's very hard to just blow people the fuck out who know what they're doing. So a lot of games come down to I just put myself in a position where I win unless you have a specific like one of or something.
Yeah. And there's games where you just can't win. That's like it's really not like that in modern. Well, it is like that in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's one thing where like you just know that it's happening like right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like you know it's happening. In Edison format, they give you like a rope to hang on to. It's like I can actually win this game because I have at least a couple more turns left. I could draw some good cards. Like this game is not over. In modern, it's over.
Yeah.
But in Edison, like you have a chance to win. Like yesterday, I was playing my friend's deck. It was like I was gonna talk to you about it. Every Tuesday, shout out to my boy Pack. Pack does like an Edison format tournament every Tuesday, and for like our Discord. And I wanted to see if you two wanted to play because we're trying to get it to 16 people just to have more content, just to get more people. And that happened yesterday. I was using my friend's deck, and he's like, "Yo, what is going on?" And I'm like, "Look at my graveyard."
Yeah,
I haven't drawn shit.
Just check
it. My graveyard is like solemn, honest, return for the different dimension. Like my hand's horrible. Like I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah,
and that's just like part of it. And every deck sucks, by the way.
Oh,
I have to throw that out there. My God, every deck is fucking ass.
The decks in Edison format, I said all of them are literally trash, and all of them are like 1 or 2 cards away from being a tier 0 deck.
Very nice deck, yeah.
Like if, for example, I love talking about this. I'm so glad you brought that up. Plants, if they had Scrap Dragon, it'd be the best deck in the format.
My goodness,
and it wouldn't be
yes.
close. Plants, if it had Trishula, it would be the best deck in the format, and it wouldn't be close. Plants, if it had Glow Up Bulb with Spore, it would be the best deck in the format, and it wouldn't be close.
Yeah.
Plants, if it had Formula Synchron, it would be the best deck in the format, and it would not be close. All of these cards come out pretty much later on in the year, because I know at the end of
D-Rev.
Pretty much the end of the year, a lot of things. Scrap Dragon comes out, Valor comes out, Solid Morning comes out, and things start to change. X-Sabers, the very next set, they get Dark Soul,
they get crazy.
They get Boggart Knight. They get fucking all of these ridiculous cards that literally send that deck into one of the best decks ever. Like, it just becomes insane with Dark Soul and Boggart Knight. It just takes away all of the deck's problems. Like, literally all of them go away. Because the problem is always, how do I drop Fall Troll? I have to use Rescue Cat every time. And that's an Edison format. You have to use Rescue Cat to drop Fall Troll. But in the one set later, after Edison format, when Dark Soul and Boggart Knight comes out, you could just raw go. And I've had this happen to me so many times by Sean McCabe because he loves that deck. Boggart Knight, Pashul, Fall Troll, Synchro, make Hunley, pop your back rows, Fall Troll, bring back Guy, and just keep going. And it's like, what the fuck is this deck? Like, what is this deck? Every deck is one card away. Ronin Tonin comes out the next set after Edison format. It literally creates an FTK that FTKs you like 85 to 90% of the time. It is crazy. So every deck
like if my hero deck had Pot of Duality, I'd be so lit. Bro, I just need a Pot of Duality.
If your hero deck had Pot of Duality, if it had The Shining.
Oh, The Shining too, yeah. Like,
everything changes.
Do you have like a tier list in your head of like what are like the best 3 or 4 decks?
Yeah, so in Edison format, I think Blackwings is the absolute best deck, not by a large margin, but I do think that Blackwings and Blackwing variants are the best deck, and that is not me being results oriented. It took me a while to accept this, and I have a reasoning for why I think Blackwings is like the best deck, and I'm just going to be really quick about it, or as quick as Fraser can be about it, right? Because I'm long-winded, but Blackwings does so much with one card, and almost every other deck needs 2 cards to play. So Blackwings with just a Shura, if a Shura kills a guy, it's a +2. Like, just
that's nice.
Killing
also
a
puts
guy,
value in your graveyard.
It literally is your guy died in battle, which is a +1, and then summon Vayu +2. And I can decide what I want to do with the Vayu from there. I could decide if I want to synchro to put these cards in the graveyard to make my Blizzard live, or I could decide to set Icarus attack now and continue to plus off of my advantage. This is all off of one. We're talking about just Shore right now. And then Blizzard is a 1-card 6-star synchro. Spoiler alert, 6-star synchros are the best fucking synchros in Edison format.
Brionic is just insane.
Brionic is unreal. He's like so misplaced. Like, Brionic doesn't even seem like he belongs in Edison format because of how absurd he is. Like, he doesn't belong in the format. He seems like an eyesore. So Brionic and Goyo Guardian, a 2800 normal summon, like my normal summon can be 2800 take a guy. This is a 1 card. Like, I'm literally going draw, summon Blizzard, effect, and you have to do something. So Blackwings do a lot.
You haven't even mentioned Whirlwind or Kahoot yet.
I have not mentioned any of that. And the thing is, I'm not even going to because I'm trying to be like very short about it. But on the contrary, decks like Zombies that I've been playing a lot lately because of Nazar and because of the Master and the Pupil series, decks like Zombies, every single play requires a minimum of 2 cards. It doesn't do a single thing with 1. So set Goblin Zombie is not as threatening because you literally have to at some point go summon Diva or summon Plague Spreader. Like, at some point, to make the Goblin Zombie a real threat, you need to convert it with a second card. It just won't do it by itself. It doesn't have cards like that. It just doesn't have it. And a lot of decks are like that. Like, Alias is a good card with Gemini Spark and with Hero Blast, right? But that's adding layers to why it's good. It's not just on itself. Like, Alias by itself is ass. Like, if we're in a top decking situation and you're playing an Alias deck and I'm playing Blackwings, I can draw Blizzard. You can draw Alias. This is not fair. Like, this is literally an unfair comparison. Like, I can draw Sirocco, you can draw Alias. That's also not okay. I drew a 2000 attack guy on the top of my deck, and this is a normal summon for my deck. Like, this is a regular guy. Like, you summon Laquari. You need Test Tiger to get over a fucking Sirocco. Like, you need it.
Yeah.
You have to have it. If you don't have
GVs
it, you can't
are
yes. And this is why every deck, I think, outside of Blackwings pretty much has this jarring problem of needing multiple. Like, Quick Draw is a terrible card. Like, Quick Draw Synchron, one of the worst cards in the entire format. It's awful. But with Dandelion, it comes to life. With Volcanic Shell, you can do something. And again, you need 2 cards for like everything to function in the format outside of Blackwings. Blackwings pretty much just is like a solo. This by itself does too much. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. I don't want to make this like a only Blackwings has that kind of quality, because there are cards in certain, like fairies, for example, like a Shining Angel can get you pretty much everything in your deck, right? But I'm not exactly scared of just a Shining Angel. I'm scared of Christia. So like, there's layers to the discussion, and we could have an entire Edison format podcast, which I actually want to do at the beginning of 2023. Just to kind of, yeah, 100%. You can be down for 100%. I'll bring you back for that. But like Edison format has its problem. It's not a perfect format, of course. It's Yu-Gi-Oh, but Blackwings just seem to have the easiest time dealing with every situation. Like I always think to myself, Blackwings has an out to every situation. Like every situation I could think of, oh, if he just has Blizzard, he could just brio your field. Like you have Stardust Colossal, but one Blizzard clears your. How many decks can clear Stardust Colossal? Like be like that is fucking Stardust Colossal Deep Prison. How many decks can just clear that? Like that is not an easy thing to do with any deck. And then here's Blackwings going summon Blizzard, make brio, pitch, bounce, like that. Like it's nothing. One card. I did it off one card. Like it's so ignorant how the deck operates. So, okay, anyways, Blackwings is like what I consider the best. And then I have other decks that I think are really, 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 really good, but just not as good. I think Fairies is really up there. It's very grindy.
Like straight fairies, standard fairies.
The straight up fairy deck with Shining Angels, Dimensional Alchemist, DD War Lady. It's a very normal summon heavy deck, but it is strangely, like when you play against it, like when you really grind against it, it can be really difficult if the pilot is good. Like the pilot is just harder to find good pilots of fairies. But when you do come across a good fairy pilot, you just get grinded out of all your cards. Like you slowly get all your monsters get DD War Lady. Like for example, I used to play Hero Beat. Me and you used to both play Hero Beat.
I still do. I think that deck is still really good.
Oh, I love it. I still love it. But let me tell you something.
If you were guaranteed to draw a hero monster, it's the best deck for sure. Not close, at least to me.
It is.
I think that deck is crazy nice, but it loses the games you can't play.
I will tell you this: we can play 10 games. I will play fairies, and I will put e-call, and you draw 5, and I want to see how many games you can win against me playing fairies with your Hero Beat deck. It is one of the most abysmal matchups you will ever play in your life, Scott. It is fucking awful.
Yeah, it's hard. I used to think it was easy, but
the more I play. DD Warrior Lady is going to literally run you out of monsters. You are going to get to a point where you realize I have nothing left to attack you with. Every single game will play out just like it is so ignorant how that works. It is really bad. And the deck does that. It also is the only deck that has a actual hand trap. Like I play against people on DB. It's so funny.
2 hand traps, Honest and Orange Light. They're both. Those are probably the 2 best hand traps of the format.
That is correct. DD Crow's up there too. But yes, you're right. I play against people who just go like Summer Stratos and they just go viewing deck, and I'm like, whoa.
Hey, chill, brother.
Did I fucking tell you could play? Did I tell you could play? Absolutely not. You will not get a Strato search. And so it's the only deck that could do stuff like that. Like I had a guy literally cold wave me, and he's like summon Prisma, summon Test Tiger.
Oh, he thinks he's lit.
Oh, I had 2 back row. He was like cold wave. I said no response.
Azarius alert.
He starts going ham. He's pop, attack. Like he's doing everything. And I'm like, well, when you go to pop, I'm just going to negate that. And now you're cold waved.
Yeah, like you cold waved yourself.
You are now cold waved. And here's the revolt. Here's the reversal. So Fairies is up there. I think that new Lightsworn Fairy deck that plays 3 Christia and 3 Solar Purity and Light, I think that deck is so ignorant. I still have to test it a little bit more, but I was playing it at the regional in Philly last week. And I was playing it on Dueling Book. We posted a Master and the People episode where I played it. It is so scarily ignorant how fast like Christias and JD start coming out, because the deck is just focused on doing that one thing. And it has the most powerful beckoning lights, but it's very reminiscent of what Dragon Turbo feels like, where some of the games are just going to be like the charge recharge games, and some games are literally going to be set hamster and like slowly try to do something. And if your opponent's just like whirlwind, sure, you get clapped. Right. But the deck, I think it's very powerful, but I honestly think it's better than regular Lightsworn. Like I don't trust regular like 1 Lumina, 1 Gardener Lightsworn. I just can't bring myself to play that version of the deck. But I think the Lightsworn Fairy deck that literally just came out, I think it's very strong and very scary. And I think that like you said, I think Hero Beat, like Stratos Hero Beat, if you just get to see Stratos every game, I think that it is 100% an S tier deck. Like I even have a video where I did a tier list, and in my tier list I have Hero Beat is S tier. Like I have it at the highest tier because I do think that there's something to be said about just having every game play out exactly the same way for your deck. Like you will do the same thing every single game with Hero Beat, with like Hero Stun, whatever you want to call it. It does the same thing every game. And when it doesn't do that, when it bricks or whatever, it's like any other deck, you know, you lose. Like I didn't draw a monster until like, I don't know, you
either don't draw one or you draw too many. Those are the games where you lose.
Yep. But every other game in between, easy claps. Just easy claps all around.
Yeah. Like you'll look down, I'll be playing and I'll look down, I'm like, Jesus, this is 8-4. Where'd all your cards go?
Yep. Slowly.
What happened to your cards?
Bad GameStop, bad trades. Just a lot of bad trades. Summon Alias, they're like bottomless. Gemini Spark, pop your Raikou. You are now losing the game. Like, the game is falling apart. Now, granted, you're probably a fish for bottomlessing an Alias when you have a set Raikou, but people do it. Like, people do it.
Oh, yeah. And it also punishes the bozos. I pretty much agree with you for the most part. I think, unfortunately, like, I do think Blackwing is the best, but it's just so boring.
It is. I said this too.
Boring.
It is boring, but I've grown to love it because I like winning so much.
Yeah, winning is nice.
Nothing feels better than being fucking a winner. And that is just
that is why we play.
It just feels so good. So Blackwings it's just so consistently broken and so consistent in general. And the winning from it has literally tainted me. And a format where I used to say has 20 plus decks, I no longer believe that. I think.
I don't believe that at all. Yeah, I was with you at one point. I'm like, yo, every deck's pretty good. Yeah. And then the more you play, you're like, damn, this deck's ass.
Yep. I used to be heavy on the Sky Scourge and Alaris deck, right? Like I used to believe that was a really, really good deck. And then after playing it so many times and being disappointed because I lost to my deck just crapping out on me. Like I just opened unplayable Red Eyes, Sky Scourge and Alaris, Phantom of Chaos, Gold Sark, Heavy Storm, and I don't get 2 turns because my opponent realizes what I'm playing when I play Gold Sark and I go for Future Fusion and they're like, oh, absolutely fucking not. You got me fucked up. You got me.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to just get that and like have no defense, like you're just going to pass and do that, like, oh, I'm a madman. Summon Shora, summon Bora, summon Gale, attack, 5,000, go. Like that's the game. I started running.
You got one turn.
Yes.
You got one turn.
People become like zombies. Same thing. Flip Goblin Zombie now. Summon Diva. Like start putting it in.
I think Zombies is also like really, really good. I think Zombies is like a top 3 deck.
I think Zombies is up there as well. I hate the deck now though, because like I just uploaded an episode to our Patreon where I raged. I was playing Nazar's zombie deck, his Edison deck, and we ended up winning like a lot of our matches or whatever on the Master and Pupil thing, but it was so frustrating how hard the games were. Like games that seemed so clear that we were going to win, just disasters abound. Like disasters were fucking abound and I couldn't deal with it and I just started losing my absolute shit. So the newest episode 7, I believe it is really entertaining. So please watch that one if you're on our Patreon. I literally had a meltdown. Like I was going to edit it out. I had a meltdown. Like I was like, this deck fucking sucks. I'm sick of this shit. Why don't people play this?
Kenny's dying right now.
Kenny is losing. Because he knows how I get. Like the thing is, most people don't get to see that side of me because it's funny. I'm kind of like 2 different people. And in person, when I play Yu-Gi-Oh, right, you will never see me lose my shit really. Like it's very rare to see me actually rage out or like have a moment like that. But when I'm at home in the comfort of my living room or my bedroom or whatever, playing Dueling Book, and there's a microphone in front of me, I just let it go. I just let all of my thoughts that I normally would never say in person, I just let them fucking rip. Because the other part is that the guy is not in front of me, so I don't want to, because I'm not like, I don't want to be rude.
Yeah, you're not trying to disrespect the guy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to just be an asshole to some guy because I'm losing in Yu-Gi-Oh! But if I'm on you fucking bozo,
yeah,
you really top deck brain control, you fucking bitch. How dare you one outing motherfucking like I just let them have it. And I was like, this deck sucks. I'm never playing Zombies again.
I'm never playing this shit again.
I was like, you guys
delete this shit off my fucking account.
Everyone is delusional as fuck. This deck is garbage. One Caius and you're out the game. Good luck with your 2-card combo deck. Like, hope to see you in bracket, loser. I let it go. Stango even said after because he was dying after the session, he was like, you need to upload just this as a clip. Like this, he's like, this just needs to be a clip on YouTube of you losing your mind. I was like, absolutely not. He's like, I'm telling you, this needs to be a clip. So, but yeah, that is, I agree with you though. If I'm being realistic and out of my feelings about it, like zombies are insane in the format. So
and was nobody playing it back then? Is it just like not a deck at like Edison?
It's not a deck. It's funny. Neither is fairies.
That's so interesting. I knew fairies wasn't. That makes sense though. It's a weird deck.
Dragon Turbo, fairies, Norlaris, I want to say, like the real refined Norlaris decks that we have in 2022, like Norlaris, fairies, the Frog Hero Monarch deck. I think Diva Hero in general wasn't real.
No way.
I looked at the top 16 deck list from Edison's Shonen Jump Championship in 2010.
How many played Deep Sea Diva in the top 16?
I don't know if it was in any deck.
That's crazy. That card is broken.
There are more Flamvel Fire Dogs in Top Cut than there are Deep Sea Divas. There are 0 Upstart Goblins in the entire Top Cut. There are 0 Upstart Goblins in the entire Top Cut. There are more Gadget decks than there are Blackwing decks in Top Cut.
What? Really?
There's 1 Blackwing deck in the entire Top Cut. There's
no
one.
Way.
Bro,
really?
It is the Twilight Zone. Looking back at how awful all Yu-Gi-Oh players were in 2010 it's jarring. It's so jarring how bad we were as a community, as a group. We have to all take accountability, except the fucking Charles Ray Taylors of the group who were born like in 2014. But like, everyone else who was complicit and played the game in 2010, if you played the game at that time, you need to like seek compensation for the damage that was done to us as a group that we were allowed to play such bad decks. Like, for example, the deck that won the tournament, everyone agrees is just not good. And this is no disrespect to Jeff Jones at all because he won the event. Shout out to him. But like that deck will never win another Edison tournament. Like it just
I think it could. I think it could win.
I hard disagree. Do you know what it has to go through now? The decks have gotten so much better, bro. They've gotten so much better.
It can still win though. Anything can win.
Nope.
I am literally the poster boy of anything and anybody can win.
You listen, I thought that too, Scott, and then I play way too many Blackwing decks, I play way too many zombie decks, I play way too many frog decks, and I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're a pot of avarice, you're a one-trick pony, because that's what the deck is. It's like a pot of avarice deck.
Pot of avarice and they draw 2 normal summons. It's literally, like, I used to get so mad when they'd avarice me, and then I'd be like, they probably just avarice for like Raikou Hamster. It's like that's like 3 turns down the road. I'll be fine. Sometimes
worse than that. I played a guy at the Philly Regional this weekend in an Edison side event, and we're grinding. I'm playing Blackwings, of course. We're grinding. We're having a decent game. Game 2. I won game 1 real quick. In game 2, he rips a pot. He rips a pot while we were pretty close in card advantage. So now he's about to just start. I think he was like +1, but he was on the draw, so it was like not a real +1. And then he rips right, and so then he rips a pot, and now he's like +2. It looks like he's +2 on me, and
that hurts. That hurts, man.
Oh, I was shook until so right before he did that, he went discard Titanial for either quick draw or for something. I forget what it was. And then he goes pot avarice, and I'm like, damn, that was nice because now she's back in the deck. Until when he drew Titanial again and went tribute summon for Titanial.
Oh God, yes.
And I was like, oh, so you
that
actually
plus just went away.
I was like, oh, so that just didn't happen. And that, like stuff like that, like Titanial as a concept, right? Is she's don't get me wrong, she is broken, but like she's also just terrible at the same time. Like your deck playing that card is so bad. Like she's so bad.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt. The world hasn't heard from me for, I don't know, an hour because I guess 30 people got shot outside and there was sirens going crazy.
Jesus.
But luckily they stopped right as Fraser mentioned Titanial. I just want to quickly say that card I fucking hate that card.
You play Monarchs, right?
I play Monarchs.
Yeah,
and
I'd hate that card too.
I don't play her anymore. I've gone out of I cheat. I will not play her, and I hate dead cards. And like obviously you can draw like cards can be dead, but I hate cards that are always dead. I don't like playing garnets. Like she's a garnet, and you know what I mean. Like I don't like playing.
She's the epitome of a garnet, actually.
Like I hate playing garnets. I cannot do
Garnet is better than her. I'm not even joking. Garnet can be summoned, right? Can't you summon Garnet?
It's a 1900 beater, yeah.
Yeah, Garnet is a 1900 beater, because you know how broken Titanial would be if she was a 1900 beater with that effect? Like, that would actually...
Oh, that card would be nice.
Yeah, like, they would actually do something. It's like, oh, you can't
foolish
target?
normal summon Titanial pass.
Oh my
God.
That would
be really nice.
Are you kidding? What are we talking about?
You'd probably play 3 copies.
Insane. Oh, insane. She'd be limited, actually, is what really had. Like, she would not be at 3. But yeah, no, a 1900
I hate
vanilla
her.
is actually better than, because just how often you're gonna need a 1900 monster. Like 1900 vanilla in Edison format is actually not terrible. Alias is playable. That should tell you everything you need to know. But,
Alias is insane.
yeah, but it's funny. Like, while I hard disagree that plants could win, I'm also half joking because technically Scott is right. Like any deck could win. I just don't see it the same way.
It is hard to deal. If Blackwings keep becoming more popular, I think
plants get so much worse.
That matchup's hard. Plants versus
other,
Blackwings is so hard.
It is by far one of the most abysmal matchups you'll ever play. It is unwinnable in reality. It makes
you feel like you're really bad at the game, even if you're not. Like you just can't do anything.
It is one of the most one-sided fistfights you'll ever experience. It's really a bad matchup, but it's not even just that. Decks that didn't exist also randomly check that deck. Like frogs just randomly beat quick draw decks. Like just the newer frog decks, like the new substitute, like the mindset of absolute zero being in these decks now, and how much advantage they get off of dupe blocking you. Like what the fuck does the quick draw deck do to a dupe block? Like it is a really hard situation for that deck to deal with. Like they have to set a Raikou, but like setting a Raikou against Monarchs is probably the worst feeling you could ever do. Like when you're
it's probably better to not set the Raikou.
It is, but like you're playing quick draw
so
though.
Stupid,
you have like you play double hamster, 3 Raikous. You have like what are you gonna do?
Yeah, this is a better habit situation.
It's a better habit situation, and so these decks that didn't exist, zombies did not exist. Like it did not exist, and Book of Life is a card. Like Book of Life simply exists. Book of Life breathes, and your fucking quick draw deck is like, what do I do? Like how do I deal with that? And there's just a lot of those kind of issues now that the game has changed. Also, just want to be clear, at the SJC 75th, the Edison SJC, Gadgets got second. Can I just say,
insane. That deck is not good.
Can I just say that Gadgets have not done a single thing this entire year? Like this entire 2022 of Edison format, there have been so many tournaments. Gadgets will never get to the finals of a fucking tournament, Edison.
That I will agree with you with.
Real tournament though, not just some fucking 28 person tournament that's like, okay, like sure, you know, take that, but like a real tournament. Like I don't ever see Gadgets getting to the finals of a tournament with the way people understand Edison format now, where Cyber Dragon's in every side deck, Chimera Tech's in every extra deck. Also, the deck is just actually not good. Set Hamster walls off your entire deck. I don't know
you just can't play.
What the fuck are you supposed to do when they go Set Hamster? Like what happens? You start like you fall apart. You start pulling your hair. It is one of the worst matchups. Also, every deck that just plays Hamster and like Raikou and stuff like that, just pick off your back rows and kill all your little shitty guys, and you lose. And like that is only a part of the reason, but it's interesting to look at how bad, because the original conversation was like, what topped the actual event? And there's only one Blackwing deck. There's like multiple Glabbies decks, I'm pretty sure. There's multiple like Gadgets and plants and all type shit like that. But it's
the only
crazy.
thing that sticks out to me, the only thing that I remember from that top cut is Billy's Caliber Cat deck.
Also not a deck.
And that deck is hot ass.
Not a deck.
So it's just crazy to me that he got top 4 with that.
It is literally not a deck. Do you understand that because there are so many fucking frogs in the format, you can't play Doom Caliber Knight? You cannot play Doom Caliber Knight in a format where Treeborn Frog is going to be literally 2 of your game. 2 of your rounds are going to be against frogs. If we were to have a YCS today in Edison format, which I'm praying one day does happen. If there was an Edison format YCS, you could not play Doom Caliber Knight in your main deck. It would just be ludicrous. Like Treeborn Frog is going to come up in 2 out of your 10 or 11 rounds. 100%. Like somebody's going to play.
Vayu. Don't forget about Vayu. Also,
Vayu
destroys Doom Caliber Knight.
Card Trooper being a card.
Yeah, it's bad. That card's just bad. Like it's just bad. It is good versus Raikou, but like it's bad versus like literally everything else.
Amazing, but so is everything against Raikou. So Raikou's not good. Like Raikou is not good anymore. It's to the point where like the deck that people are playing, there's a lot of Blackwings, there's a lot of these frog decks, and there's a lot of zombies. And Raikou is just not. It's just not the fantasy against those decks. Like honestly, it's just not. It's the follow up with your Raikou. Like if you do Raikou and Takaias and stuff like that, but Raikou by itself is not as strong as, you know, and also you need to be going first. Because the real reason why I think Raikou's not that good is not just because of its effect, because its effect is great. It makes Dupe Frog miss timing, it makes Dimensional Alchemist miss timing, it does a lot of things, but the problem with it is that going second with Raikou in your hand just feels gross. It just feels gross. And that by itself makes me not really like the card. Like I hate going second and having to set a monster like that. It just doesn't feel good. But that, you know, there's Edison format is just so complex and so fun. And
It's fun. That's like the main reason I'm liking playing. Like I'm playing like 20 matches a day. I'm like,
oh, I
this
love
is
that.
this
Oh.
is just fun.
Whoa. If you're playing 20 matches a day, Scott, then you need to do the 2 master series with me. We're 2 YCS champions here.
Hey,
You need to do a 2 masters where we pick a deck. It could be anything. We pick a deck, we go on Dueling Book, and we just literally play randoms. It's so fun too.
yeah, that's literally what I do.
Oh, it's so good.
That's literally what I do. Period.
It's so good. So yeah, we're definitely going to record 2 masters. That's something that we can 100% run. But so we spent a lot on Edison format, and I do want to talk about a couple other things. So we didn't I'm pretty sure I cut you off earlier when you were talking about your actual YCS win, which is crazy because that was over an hour ago now. But like
that is crazy. There's literally so much I could say. That tournament was it. I don't have words, and like you could talk about your win like all day, right?
Oh, 100%. I could.
Yeah, that's literally me.
God.
People get so mad at me because all I do is talk about my fucking win.
You find a way to bring it up no matter what.
Oh, every time in our Discord, there's you could type ! Here we go again, and it posts my feature match, the finals feature match.
That's
so it's like,
so fire.
That's just nice.
I love that.
Yeah, like let me. We've been doing this for over an hour and a half, so I'll just try to do some bullet points.
Okay.
I lost 1 game in top cut. My record in Swiss was horrible. It's so bad that I don't want to go on record saying what my record was in Swiss.
So here's the funny part, because I watched you in top cut only. I watched day 2 only. So I got to see, and this is why I praised you in the beginning, I got to see you rip through people. Like you fucking ripped through them so fast that Silverman was able to ask you for help, and the fucking clock was on 25 minutes. Like,
yeah, all my matches were over in like 2 minutes. I remember, like in top 4, like imagine playing in a tournament. This is why I say anybody can win, because it literally happened to me. Imagine you're playing at a YCS, right? You're in top cut. You draw the most broken hand you've ever seen, over and over and over and over and over and over again. So it's like, I am a firm believer that anybody can win. Like,
well, we know that to be true too. Like, we know that. There have been some winners in Yu-Gi-Oh's long history now. We know some people are just like, that guy winning is crazy.
Literally. That would have been me if it was me just by myself. It wouldn't be like, oh, Couch is crazy. It would be, Jesus Christ, this guy drew insane. No wonder he won the tournament. But it was stuff that happened outside the tournament. Okay, so in top 8, I'm playing versus Ryan Levine. Ryan Levine is a good friend of mine, right? Like, I would go to dinner with Ryan. We talk a lot. We don't talk like outside of events and stuff, but he's a friend of mine.
Yeah, I like Ryan. Shout out to Ryan, by the way.
Oh, and I also have to shout out Nazar, because Nazar shouted me out when he was on, so I got to shout out Nazar. Nazar is literally the GOAT. Anybody that says anything else to say is literally just wrong.
Yep.
Shout out to Nazar for beating me in top 8 at the first YCS he won. Started dancing and broke the table, and I asked if he could get a penalty for that because I was fucking sick. I was sick. But anyway, back to the thing. So again, Ryan is like my friend. And I was in his hotel room the night before the YCS. And I'm like, I really want to get my deck to 40 cards. And it was just literally me and him one-on-one. He's like, yeah, I'll help you out. Because, he's a good player. And I'm like, I respect his opinion. So like, I think I'm going to do this. And I think I'm going to cut Conductor to 1, like the big giant dino.
Yeah,
I was like, I think I'm going to cut it to 1 because like
one of the best cards in the entire deck.
Yeah, like it's a brick. Like it's not that good to draw. You can pretty much always go get it when you need it. So I'm just going to cut it to 1. Anyway, fast forward to day 2. I'm playing Ryan in top 8. It's game 1. I have no cards. 0 cards in my name. Well, I put him on 0 cards. He draws. It was the craziest match I've ever played in my life. Put him no cards. I have an extra deck monster. He draws Shaddoll Fusion. Shaddoll Fusions me.
Oh,
Comes back, cracks. I'm like, unless you draw Shaddoll Fusion, you're cooked. He's like, draw. Well, boom, Shaddoll Fusion. I'm like, oh, wow, this is crazy. And then it comes, and then he breaks my board, clears my board, and he has a wind on the field, so I can't do anything crazy. I have no cards now, so I draw Oviraptor. Oviraptor is like the monster that searches any dinosaur, so I can search the big dinosaur.
It is literally Stratos on crack.
So I'm like, ooh, summon Oviraptor. This is nice. And he looks in my graveyard, and he sees the big dinosaur in my graveyard. So he knows I play 1. He knows I only play 1 copy. Well, what he did not know was when I went back to my hotel room when I was going to bed that night, you think like, I'm going to change this.
Yes.
I was like, there's no world I don't play 2 Conductors. Like, that card is crazy. I'm 100% going to play 2. So I summon it, and he's like, yes. He's like, I know he only plays 1. He's like talking to his teammates. He's like, I know he only plays 1. We're good. I'm like, joke's on you, pal.
Oh, no.
I searched the second copy, and he's like, "No way." I'm like, "Yeah, this is just, this is very unfortunate for you for like a lot of reasons, but the main
Yes.
reason that I only play one, but joke's on you, I play two."
Crazy. That is
then
actually insane. Yeah.
that was top 8. I only lost one game in top cut. Like you just could have seen the hands I was drawing, Frazier. It was just like it was almost funny.
Scott, I did. I told you. I watched you cook people on camera. You were
it's
literally
annoying.
on camera.
They weren't showing me. Like I wish they were showing me because the stuff I was doing to these people was crazy. So in top 4, I played versus Spiral, and I played a Ghost second deck. It's the only match where I wanted to go first because they could do more broken stuff than I could. Like
Right.
on their first turn. Like I ended on VFD. That was like my play. You could do a whole pod about that card. Jesus, that card is insane.
It's so ridiculous. People complain about Dweller now. Like
But
VFD.
in top 4, I know my opponent's playing Spirals, and I choose to go first. So I'm like, I grab the dice. I'm like, oh, come on, baby, let me roll high. Boom, roll an 11. I'm like, let's fucking go. Like this guy's cooked. He rolls a 12. So I'm like, oh Jesus,
come on.
no. And I'm like, my luck has been so good. Like it's bound to go down now. He's like,
Yeah.
draw. He goes, draw, set a back row, pass. I'm like, oh, I won the roll and I
Oh.
get to attack. So I kill him on my first turn, and like, so we're siding, whatever. Game 2, he goes, draw, shakes his head, sets 2 back rows and passes. I'm like, all right, I think I got this one, boys. I think I'm lit here.
When it's your
And
day, it's
then-
your day.
Yeah, and in the finals, no disrespect to Herman, he's my guy. Imagine you're in the finals of YCS and you play versus Infernoids.
I couldn't believe it.
Like I
couldn't
was like,
believe it.
this is a dream. This is a
I
dream.
could not believe it.
And he was also playing Go second, but I won the roll, and I made him go first. He sets 3 back row. I lightning storm him, kill him. It was just insane.
So you had a dream luck experience, which is that feels so good when you're just steamrolling through the top cut. People don't know what's up because like you said, the dinosaur deck at that time was not perceived as the YCS winning deck.
Yeah, and it's funny. The week before, like I was the only one in top cut of the UDS, and you fast forward 1 week later, and the second most represented deck was the dinosaur deck. I don't know how people caught on that fast that it was like that. It was like 11 in top cut of
Oh my god!
Well, it was top 16, but remember it was 48 or 16, 30, 48 players.
Yeah.
But 11 of 48 is still really high when it was 1 out of the entire tournament a week before.
Yes, which means it wasn't represented at all prior to 2 weeks ago. And then 2 weeks later, it is 11 out of 48, which is a pretty big percentage of the top.
I think it was
cut.
11. Don't quote me on that.
Sure,
I'm pretty sure
but
it was
11 out of 48, and then 1 out of 16 is actually just wild.
And then 2 on the winning team.
Yes, I mean it won the YCS. Like you guys won. So yeah, 2 on the winning team, which is insane. And how did Silverman end up like deciding on a deck? Did he know that the dinosaur deck was broken from you, or did he already know from Trap Eater or Jarrett Randolph?
Well, he wasn't playing, and I was like, "Yo, this deck's nice. Like, it's really easy. Just you just kill your opponent." And like to Silverman's credit, my God, the hands I was drawing in top cut, he was drawing in Swiss. He was drawing insane. And it was so broken where like he didn't know what the cards did, Frazier. Like he did not know what the cards did. I'm sure you heard the story. I think Couch said it when he's like, "Yo, the card Lost World." He's like, "This card is terrible. Like I don't know why you play it." And in the finals, he's playing a mirror match, and his opponent does the most standard play you've ever seen in your life. Silverman's like, "You can't do that." He's like, what are you talking about? You play the same deck as me. What do you mean I can't do that? And someone reads the card. He's like, "This card's insane." I'm like, "Yes, you've been citing it out in the finals. Like you've been citing this card out every match, and I've been telling you it's the best card in the deck."
Oh my god!
This is why. This is literally why.
He said, "You can't do that."
And it was like Oviraptor Pop Special. It was like the most.
Yes, pop from your deck, by the way.
Yeah, pop from your deck, special from your deck. He's like, "You can't do that." I'm like, "Geez, this is my teammate. Jesus Christ."
And it's crazy that that's in the finals.
Yeah, literally, just the finals, no big deal.
Yeah, I saw Steve steamroll a lot of people too in Top Cut, like just opening the Super Poly, Lightning Storm, the absolute stone. Just
yeah, he was drawing. It was like I would look over at his hand, and I'd be like, because I tried to help him after day 1. My head hurt so bad because I had to play my match and for the most part Steve's match. But like I said, to his credit, I would look over and I'd be like, "Yo, your hand is crazy."
Yeah, I think you get excited to play it.
Like I think you can, no, I didn't play it. That's what I'm saying. To his credit, I'm like, "Yo, you can just kill him. Like your hand is so ridiculous. It doesn't matter
Like,
what his cards are. You just kill him." Yeah, you can figure it out. And every single time without fail, he's like, "I got it. I killed him." I'm like, "All right, good job. And
Oh,
I'd have to
man.
focus on my match where I can't play. And I'm like, yo, let me get that hand. Like, your hand is nice.
That, I mean, sometimes it'd be like that. The best part about hearing this story is that you said your record day one was like abysmal, basically.
Yeah.
And the thing about 3v3 YCS is that you do need one day for two people to just be on fire. And then you need two people to be on fire the next day as well. And this is, it's an obvious thing to say, but essentially day one, you were having some bad beats, but then it sounds like day two, you were drawing some of the best hands you've ever drawn with that deck ever. 5 rounds in a row. Top 32, just straight up ripping through people.
Yeah, every match was like 5 or 10 minutes max. And I was just destroying everybody.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Well, I should say top 16 is not top 32. But top 16, you're just those four rounds, you are just ripping it. Like I'm drawing like the Silverman hand, you were drawing Steve's hands day 2. And that's good because sometimes you'll lose a round, but if your other two teammates win, it doesn't matter. It's great. It's a great feeling when like, oh, I lost, but like the other two people just scraped. They just absolutely scraped.
Every single round, like I'm not making this up. Every single round was like either me or Silverman lost and Couch won. So basically it was a 2v3. Like either me or Silverman had to win our match and we won the match. Every
time. And that's actually broken because I heard that Couch absolutely destroyed that event.
Yeah, I owe him everything.
I heard that he
I need to just throw that out there.
Ripped that event to shreds. He went undefeated day 1, I believe, something like that.
He
went undefeated, I mean.
Yes, he went undefeated every round. The only round he lost was top 8.
Yep.
And then
I heard that he only Couch, that is insane, by the way. Just by the fucking way. To be on a team.
And his deck was not that great. Like he was using like a Shadal deck that nobody really thought was good.
Yeah.
And he just brought it out, which pretty much works with our deck too, because that's what everybody thought about our deck too. And then it was just good. So
that is wild to go 10-0. It is what you said though. If somebody on your team goes undefeated, like if you have one of the undefeated players in the room on your team, essentially every round comes down to just one of the other people.
One player, right?
Yes, yeah. It is a 3v2 at that point. Like it's not a fair. It's no longer a fair tournament if somebody goes 10-0. Like,
which I wish, honestly, I wish every event was a 3v3 because it takes out the factor of like, oh wow, I drew terrible. You could draw terrible and your other two guys 2-0 your opponents. So you win the round.
Minimize luck.
Yeah, 100%.
Luck is always still there, but it helps take more luck out of the game.
Yep.
And
team sports are fun. It's fun to cheer for a team. I was just about
to say, like, it's so much more fun. Like when you win round 6 and for no reason you just start popping off.
Yeah, because
you would never do that. Like if you just beat like a random guy round 6, you're like, let's fucking go. Like let's go. Like high-fiving everybody.
Yeah.
I literally will beat a guy round 6 and he'll ask to take a fucking selfie with me. I'll grab the slip and walk away. With straight face the whole way. Like straight face, walk away, and then people walk. Did you win? Yeah, I won. No happiness. No, I'm fucking somber. I'm annoyed that I went to
when
game
you're on
3.
a team, it's different, right? Like imagine it's you, Stango, and like Luke Feeney, right?
Yeah.
And then like it's round 6, and like one of you guys lose, and it like comes down to the wire, and so like you and somebody else is like watching the last person play, and like they clutch it out. You're like,
I agree that like the team aspect of it has to change the dynamic of how excited winning is, because I also like that you can help each other, right? Like once the match is over, you and Couch be done your match, and then like if Silverman's just playing, you guys can help, and then when you finally do clutch, you're like, holy shit, like you drew the card you needed to draw right here, and the game's over now. Like you got them, it's over.
It's just like everything. It's so amazing. Like the 3v, like oh man, it was incredible. Like every match, it always comes down to the last guy, and it's like, yo, we win, we're fucking lit. And if we lose, we are in shambles. So you need to win. And Silverman would tell you straight up, because he doesn't pull his fucking punches. He's like,
he doesn't.
Hey, we need you to pull through, or else we are dead.
And he told Couch in the finals, like, create your own destiny.
Yeah, he has insane lines. If you go back and watch when I won, and I'm just like basically playing for Silverman. Silverman is literally so insane. Silverman goes, "I am your puppet. Control me." He's literally insane. He's also a good teammate.
Oh, Silverman is amazing, because one thing about him, like, he downplays like, oh, I haven't played and like I don't know anything. But when it comes to actually playing card games, he's just really, really good at them in general.
Yeah, he's a good player, yeah.
And it doesn't hurt that he's also a pretty lucky person as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
we
like,
take those.
we definitely take those. I've played Silverman for the bulk of my Yu-Gi-Oh experience, and I've been on the opposite end of some crazy shit, and he's been on the opposite end of some of my crazy shit. We've played each other. So before either one of us have ever won a YCS in our lives, right? So this is before 2010. We knew each other before 2010 for years, and I was one of the best players in Philly. You know, not known on a grand stage, but I was just known in the area. And me and him would play each other in the finals of, at the time, it would have been like, I don't even know what the game systems were, like a PS3 tournament or a Wii tournament.
VCR
like
tournament. It was a VCR tournament. I'm
VCR.
Sure.
We would play each other in the finals of a VCR tournament, DVD player tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have both just destroyed each other. We've both like absolutely won out at each other. I've been on every possible. I've won out at him. He's won out at me. I've drawn godly opening hand against him. He's done it to me. We've just done everything. So I know how dangerous he can be, and I also know that he's a person that sees game. Like Silverman's best, one of his absolute best traits is not only his ability to trick his opponents, literally, like he can trick people, which is a skill that I do not have it. Like he can literally talk you into some bad shit, and that is broken. Like he can literally say to you, like, oh, like Chris LeBlanc, for example, in the finals of the last YCS he won, so Minneapolis. I think that when his opponent played Pot of Duality, Chris said, "Oh, you take Rabina, right?" And the guy actually revealed evenly matches one of the 3 cards.
Yeah. So he's fucking shitting himself if he guys evenly
matches game. It is actually factually game. It's not a question. Like your tier deck can't deal. You lose. Like he said, Chris was on the podcast after that. He's like, yeah, that 100% he takes evenly matched, I lose. The guy, after Chris says you take Rabina, right? The guy takes Rabina and Chris wins the YCS. You know?
Yeah.
It's now history. That is a skill that Silverman also possesses, and it makes him way more dangerous than like your average really good player, because not only will he talk you into losing, but he also is just good at the game. And when he smells blood in the water, Silverman, when he plays Edison format, he doesn't fear Mirror Force, he doesn't fear Torrential. He just does not. He doesn't play like you have those cards. He accepts that you're going to have those cards very few games, and he's literally not respecting them. So his tournament experience is going to come down to how many people drew Mirror Force and Torrential against him. Because that's just how he plays, and it surprisingly gets there more often than it doesn't for him. Like other people don't try. This is a don't try this at home moment. But like for him playing around those kind of cards, he's just never been about that. He's like, if you got it, you got it. And
that's the Philly Luna approach.
He will say it though. Like Silverman will put all his shit in attack mode and be like, fuck it, if you got it, you got it. He shrug his shoulders and everything. Fuck it, you got it, attack. And he'll just push everything forward. And a person will just be sick. Because it's like, God damn it, I have literally 2 back rows. I have 2 back rows, and you're just like, absolutely not, I don't believe you. Like, well, show.
You want to hear another Silverman story going on that example?
What's up?
Couch was playing, and Couch is trying to explain to Silverman what was going on. He's like, okay, he's about to activate a card where he has to call the top card of my deck correctly, and if he does, I'm in really bad shape. I could stop it and like give us a better chance of winning, but if he misses, like it's game on the spot. Silverman goes, I quote, fuck it, he's not hitting. So I'm like, oh, this is round 1. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, is this really how it's going to be? Like,
oh no,
the entire tournament. Anyway, the guy hits it, calls it right, kills Couch. So Silverman not only loses us the game, he loses Couch his fucking game. Couch is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have done that.
So that is like Silverman is a gambler. He loves
Silverman
gambling.
in a nutshell right there. Fuck it. He's not going to hit it.
Every time you give him a gambling opportunity, guess where it's going? To the casino. He's going to fucking Harrah's. Like he can't help, and it's just how he is. But it has obviously been, he's a 2-time YCS champion. It has been a great success for him to be the way he is, and I enjoy him as a person so much. So he's the last member of your team, and he's not been on a podcast yet. So he's the last person from Gonna Finish that needs to be on the IMNerd podcast, and I can't wait to have him. And the
you
reason
gotta get him on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the reason why he hasn't been on, for people who have been wondering, because like Silverman and McCabe are 2 of my closest friends, and not just in Yu-Gi-Oh, but just period. Like we have a group chat where it's just like Philly people, right? And like we go out to eat all the time. Chubby Cattle, Steak 48.
Oh, Chubby Cattle! Don't even fucking start with me.
So
I went to Chubby Cattle with you.
You did, right?
Damn, that place was good.
Oh, insane, Scott. Like we went to Chubby Cattle last week, literally for no reason at all, just like a random day last week. Me, him, Vinny.
Must be nice.
We just ran Chubby, but so we're really close.
Yo, shout out to Vinny. Vinny's my guy.
Oh, I love Vinny. Vinny could have been on Gonna Finish That. Like if one of you guys were sick,
for sure.
Vinny could have been on.
Yeah, he was a reserve. He's
definitely a reserve. But
wait a second. Why could he be on our team?
Stop. Because Vinny knows how to finish that. One thing about Vinny,
100%.
One thing about Vinny, he knows how to finish that. So I just love like having those guys as close friends for pretty much honestly more of my life than not now because I'm so fucking old. But they've been in my life so long now, and being around them, it's interesting that they haven't been on a podcast only because I feel like I can get them at any time. Like,
you can get them on whenever you want. It could be a random Thursday. Hey, Silverman, I need you for the pod. Okay, I bet. That's
literally always been the reason. Is like I could literally, whenever me and Kenny need a topic for a day, be like, yo, what are you doing right now? Podcast, basically. Like I can pull them at any moment. Whereas other people have to schedule it ahead. Like I've talked to you about doing this podcast episode over a month ago. And me and you, whenever we do talk, we talk for a minute and like we have a great time and everything like that. But you live in Texas, right? Like you live in Texas. So we don't talk that often. And people who are further away from the Philadelphia area, people who I don't see so often, I'm more inclined to reach out to them because I'm like, okay, this guy's kind of far away. I kind of want to get them because I'm not going to see them. But Silverman and McCabe, like I see them fucking every week. Like not even kidding. Like every single week of my life this year, I've pretty much seen them. So but yeah, Silverman will be on the podcast for sure in 2023. That's going to be insane. I might actually it might have to be Gonna Finish That episode. Like it might have to be at some point I just bring in the whole squad and we just
like selfishly I'm so down for that because there are so many stories that happen. Just the whole story about how the team got together is out of this world crazy.
And Silverman is the best storyteller in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like easily, he is the funniest. I don't know if
he's hilarious. He's hilarious.
When Steve tells a story, it is the funniest shit you will ever hear in your life. The way he talks. My one from pointed that he was like, yo, Silverman just speaks in hyperbole. Like he just speaks in actual hyperbole. Everything he says is just hyperbole. It's so fucking funny. I'm laughing at it right now because like I'm just thinking about some of the stories that I can't even repeat on this podcast because they're so bad.
I'm sure they're fucking horrible.
Oh, canceled like tonight.
Immediately.
Like, canceled immediately. An episode won't even be posted until tomorrow. We'd be fucking canceled because it's so good. He's such a good person. But yeah, I'm so excited just thinking about just the idea of having all of you guys on. So that's a 2023 goal for the IMNerd Podcast to just have the whole team. We'll probably do a separate. Maybe Silverman will get his own episode because that would be fucking unreal to just not give him his own. But then we need to have.
Papa needs his own for sure.
He needs his own because he has his own. He has his own YCS winner he got with the high roll deck Light Torn way back in the day. And
his deck was good though. He played oppression. His deck was really good.
Ahead of his time. Steve has always been ahead of his time. Like he downplays himself a lot. Like he will say, I'm a rock or I'm not that
Sometimes.
And then
he will also tell you he's the fucking GOAT, the best player to ever touch a card not close.
Well, there you go. So sometimes he's like that, but a lot of times he pretends to be like, I'm shit.
Yeah, I've heard I'm shit come out of his mouth.
But I'm like, bro, you're never actually shit though. Fundamentals don't go away. Like
they don't go away.
Some people are just killers. Like the second I started playing Edison format again, and I got the taste of sitting in front of a person and realizing, oh, wait, I'm better than you. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm actually just built differently than you are. And I'm going to win as a result of the fact that we are just built differently. Like, soon as I got a taste of it this year, I was like, oh, okay. Like, it's like riding a bike. It was just like riding a bike. Like, I just simply can sit down and outplay people. And by the end of the game, like, you look, it's like, this wasn't even close. Like, this game ended. And it wasn't even close. I had a match last week against a Blackwing player in my local. And it's so funny. He drew Whirlwind both games. And I too owed him so bad. Like when I tell you, he won a die roll and opened up Whirlwind both games. So he got to go first both games. Let's be clear. Got to go first both games.
A good start.
Opened up Whirlwind and everything, right? Whirlwind set to with the Starlight Road and everything. And I just fucking and mind you, I just want to be clear. I did not draw Whirlwind in either game. I did not draw Whirlwind in either game. And I just 2-0'd him. And it's just like that feeling, knowing that if I had his hand, I would have 2-0'd myself. Like if I drew, for sure. Yeah. After the game was over, I look at his graveyard, I spread his grave, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have won. Like I absolutely shouldn't have won. Like looking at your grave, there's actually no world where I win this game, but like I'm just built differently, and that feeling, there's nothing. That shit is like a high. It is an absolute high, and it's the reason why I'm still playing this format, is because it just feels good to outplay people and like win because you're better.
Yes, that is definitely a thing in Edison.
Yep. Okay, so let's transition over to, so yeah, you guys won. Congrats on that. I'm so happy that you're a YCS champion. It actually feels surreal.
Oh my god, me too. Jesus Christ.
Like, I guess let's get into that a little bit. How did it feel, Scott? Like actually winning a YCS? Like, did you have aspirate? Because you were around Billy Brick, right? One of the best players of all time. And you had a lot of killers. You had Chris Bowling at your fucking local. Like your local was crazy.
My local was, it was easily like not close to the best local level. Like you would walk into locals and it's like Billy, Philly, Ryan Spicer, Chris Bowling, Jason Holloway, like the actual goats of the game.
Yeah.
And they had, I'm actually a genius.
Jason, but you go ahead.
Hey, Jason has 16 tops and a win.
I will let you have it, but Jason,
I will defend my guy Jason.
Jason also has,
just because he's hilarious.
He has an asterisk next to his name.
Oh, Jason Holloway. Yeah, so like our local, so that local had a top 8 and
let's
a bottom 8.
Let's just say Jason right now with the new time rules would be cracked.
Oh, he would be nice.
He would be cracked out of this world. Jason Holloway would be cracked out of this world in 2022. You get with the time rules. But anyway, you had a top half and a bottom half.
Yeah, so at that local with like literal gods of the game, it was a top 8 and a bottom 8. And I wasn't terrible, but I wasn't as good as these guys. So I would, and the pricing was the same. So I would just lose every round, make bottom 8, win bottom 8, and win the box every week.
Wait, what? Oh, you mean literally a top 8 and a bottom 8?
Yeah, it was like a 40-person local. So it was like a triple box tournament. Like top 8 got 2 boxes and bottom 8 first place, and bottom 8 got the box if you won the tournament. So I dodged all the good players and I beat all the shitters. Yeah, that's how I like accumulated a lot of cards. Like, so
you sandbag then, right? That's the strategy.
Oh, bad. I would lose. I literally would like sit down and just like, I would play, but I would just like lose.
Scott,
like,
imagine me fucking doing that every week. I literally go sandbag for 3 rounds at my local, get to the bottom part of it, and then I'm playing with literal fish. Like that shit would be so unfair. That is amazing. You are a genius for realizing how quickly that shit can be exploited. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was nice. But yeah, like my area is a really interesting thing. Like I'm very lucky that I've been around the players that I've been around literally the entire time that I've played. Even now, like the friends that I have are legitimately the best in the game. Yeah. Like Billy was my best friend for, oh God, 5 or 6 years in a row. I saw him pretty much 3 or 4 times a week. We hung out outside of the game. Like he was my guy.
That's how you know it's real.
Still is my friend, but like imagine, Frazier, I'm sure you know something like this. You go to your first local ever. My first local was the Light of Destruction Sneak Peek. And the guy at my local, like, I'm sitting there playing my appropriate Exodia deck. I had just got back into the game.
Appropriate Exodia.
Frazier, put some respect on my deck, okay? One of my first Yu-Gi-Oh memories is I'm like, oh man, my deck's like really nice, my appropriate Exodia deck, and I'm just like super shitter, like ass. And I walk past this guy, and he's got a Spirit Reaper. I'm like, oh, that monster doesn't die by battle. That gives me more time, more turns to draw Exodia. And I was like, hey, what do you want for the Spirit Reaper? And the guy's like, I don't know. And I was like, would you take $1 for it? And he looks at me, he turns, he goes, you got a solid $1? I'm like, yeah, I got a solid $1. Here's the $1. So he takes it out of his sleeve and gives it to me. I'm like, ooh, let's go. That's like one of my first Yu-Gi memories. But anyway.
Was this guy black by any chance?
Did I give it away? Or
anyway,
you got a solid $1. But anyway, okay, so, and I'm like sitting there just like chilling with like the other shitters of the world, and Billy walks in, or at the time, I don't know who this is. And everybody's like, oh my God, Billy's here. Oh my God. And you know old Billy, right? With the long hair.
Yes.
Long hair. And he had a deck box on his belt buckle. He wore his he's like an anime character. Yes. He's like an anime character. And I'm like, yo. And in my head, I'm like, this guy's a fucking loser. He has his deck box on his fucking belt buckle. This guy's a god in here? Like, what?
I did not know the story was going this direction. I had no idea.
So fast forward, and then we start, I like to talk to people. Like, it's always been, I always want to like try to be the best that I can be. So like
Yes.
if people are like riding this guy, I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. Well, this guy's clearly nice. And then, so yeah, from that point on, it was like every local was just like a top cut of an event. It's like, oh, Chris Bowling versus Ryan Spicer,
Yes.
Billy
The
versus
grand
me.
finals of an actual YCS right there, or actual
Like,
SJC.
It was. Honestly, I'm just lucky. Like straight up, I just got to surround myself with like really good.
You know
players.
what I think, Scott? I think that that's true for a lot of the people who are good at Yu-Gi-Oh and who have like won and amassed a lot of tops and stuff like that. We're lucky because
Yeah.
as you're telling this story, I'm thinking about it. So mine isn't necessarily as blatant as yours, but it is still broken when you think about it. So I'm surrounded by, unknowingly though, because at the time we were all no one, but like Silverman and McCabe. And back in the day when we all played, these are some of the best killers in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like McCabe created the Gravekeeper deck, right? So like that deck got first, second, and third.
Mm-hmm.
It got first, second, and third. It's only YCS has ever been premiered at and played at and everything. Like it is one of the best decks. And it's one of the best decks in the game's history just because of what it did at a tournament. At a tournament, come out of for a deck to come out of nowhere when no one expects it, take top 3 spots. So his mind is next level. Also, McCabe has so many prize cards. He's gotten to the top 4 so many fucking times and gotten so many prize cards. Just like really, really good player. And then same thing with Silverman. Like he also has double-digit tops, 2 wins, but we didn't know when we were all really young that that's what the story
at the time exactly
that
that's
this is what we will become. But it's really lucky to be surrounded. And I'm also saying only those 2, but we also have other insane players who have double-digit tops. Like Tom Mack is from our local. Like Mark Velez is from our local. We have Brent Getter, who's also a SJC champion, playing at our local. Brian Long, another SJC champion, playing at our local. Shu Ping eventually shows up and like he becomes a mainstay in the Philly locals. And the list goes on. And like Furman and Christian, like all these people, it's just crazy that like the area that like I live in has the same exact thing where all of this talent has come out of the surrounding area, like either directly in Philly or literally they're so close that Philly is their local. Like they come to Philly to play because there's nothing in their area that's like even worthwhile. And it's just a really lucky thing to have that. And we kind of take it for granted because it's all we know. Like I didn't know that there are locals out there where there's no one. Like
fucking no offense to bumfuck Mississippi, you're probably ass out there.
Like there's just places there's no.
You don't have anybody guiding you. Like it's just like your best player, your local, who's probably like on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 3, is your best player, and you can't surpass him.
Right, like you think he's a cracked, but he goes to a YCS and he goes 0-2 drop like you did.
Yeah, there's people with natural talent. I don't have natural talent when I play Yu-Gi-Oh. I was surrounded with people that showed me what I was supposed to do. Yeah. Like Billy would like yell at me and scream at me. And I would just be like, everybody'd be like, damn, he's like yelling at you. I'm like, yeah, good. I fucked up.
Yeah.
Tell me that I'm fucking up.
I like that.
And like, but I could have been doing anything, Frazier. I could have been doing fucking anything. I decided to go play Yu-Gi-Oh on a random Saturday, and the best player to ever play was at my local. I just think that's crazy.
That is very, very insane. That is insane. I mean, imagine being a Leverett and you go to a local and Patrick
Hoban's there.
Simply exists.
That is luck.
That is
just part of the journey.
He simply breathes.
Yeah, and you're lit because of it.
You are Desmond Johnson. Okay.
Yo, stop right there. Okay. Stop right there. Stop right there because I know you're about to say some crazy shit. Okay. All right. I need to stop you before you get out of hand because I heard that name come out of your mouth and I'm like, all right, this cannot end well.
I'll chill. I will chill. Scott, you are so good, man. I was about to say. Anyway, Patrick Hoban breathes. I'll leave it at that. But yes, imagine the insane luck to be at the same local as a kid as Patrick Hoban, who is one of the best players, if not the actual statistical best player in history. Like in actual history. Patrick Hoban, at one point it was just like, it wasn't even a conversation.
It wasn't even close. He's the GOAT.
It wasn't even a conversation at one point because of, I think what people forget about his legacy, let me just suck him off a little bit real quick. Pat did a lot very fast. If you look at the time span of him winning nationals in 2013 and then look at how many wins he had in 2015, so only 2 years later, not even a full 2 years later, he has 2 YCS wins and a nationals win within like an 18-month period. It might be shorter than that, but I'm just going to cast a wide net and say within 18 months of his first win, he has now a national championship and 2 YCSs. That is crazy. Like it is
I think
crazy.
I think a few different players have like a claim at being the GOAT.
Yes.
And Patrick's claim, in my opinion, is he's amazing. Obviously, you have to be good for
Yes.
to have all those accolades. But without Patrick, let's say Patrick never played, the game would never have changed. It never would have been like summon a monster, floodgate your ass.
So
that would have never happened.
That is why I consider him to be, to this day, like also I didn't know that he made Chris LeBlanc's deck that just won the YCS like 2 months ago. I did not know until Chris LeBlanc told me, like, Patrick Hoban built this deck the fact that he is still in 2022, his mind is still able to just realize this is how the deck should be built. This is what should be sided. This is what we should be doing with Ibly, like stuff that people just were not on. Like there's just stuff that people were still with the Jesse Cottons of the world. No disrespect to them, the Christian Arenas, the Honeys. Like Pat is still fucking insane, right? Like his mind is still just so crazy that even if he necessarily himself is not performing well, I think one of the scariest things about him as a player is what he has done to other people and what he has done to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And how you said it would not have changed to what it is right now. 2013 changed Yu-Gi-Oh! Like he
changed it. He legitimately
he is the progenitor of Yu-Gi-Oh's era right now. Like the reason why you want to go summon your whole hand, set a back row that floodgates your opponent or do it with extra deck monsters, the reason why that mindset exists is literally because of this guy. Like Japan wasn't even on that. The OCG wasn't even doing that. Like it's crazy.
There's still acid building decks. I
agree.
It's kind of bizarre.
You know, I agree, but it is insane that like this guy changed the actual game that we played for years up until that point. Like Upstart Goblin just becoming a card. Like it just wasn't, again, Control F, the top 16 decks of the actual Edison Shonen Jump Championship. Like Control F it.
Yeah.
And then type in the word Upstart. Just type in Upstart. Type in the word Goblin. Like there are certain things that just did not happen. It's actually crazy because you won't see Goblin for Goblin Zombie or Upstart Goblin, which is wild.
Yeah.
But like 2010, you could correct every deck list by just like putting Upstart Goblins in them and stuff like that. And it's just, it is insane. Like you said, his claim is so absurd, not only because of how many wins he got, because like a lot of people have nowadays with how long they've played and everything, like a lot of people have a lot of wins and stuff like that. But if you look at how long they've been playing, like that should happen. Like after a while, I think like if you never stop playing, right? And it's been 10 plus years, you were already an insane player. You are going to rack up. The wins are going to rack up. Like I don't see Jesse slowing down. I don't see Chris LeBlanc slowing down. Those guys are just going to keep winning. Like they're good. Spoiler alert, 2023, they're going to win more YCSs. That's just reality.
Yeah,
like,
Jesse might be the GOAT now. I don't want to call him the GOAT now because there's going to be a time where it's just like he's the GOAT for sure when he has 7 or 8 wins in like 5 years.
That day is
or whatever.
Coming.
So I'm very biased. Billy is the GOAT in my eyes.
Yep.
Because I got to watch him play every week, and the ways that he would beat people was just like you could just tell he was different. He was built different.
Yeah. Some people just are, and I agree with you. Billy is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'm a little biased there. I think Patrick is also crazy. Like if I had a top 3, it would probably be like Billy, Patrick, and Jesse for now. But Jesse's going to be the fucking GOAT. Like
where Billy's technical play is like god tier, right? Like he's a god tier. When he's dueling in the game, he is fucking absurd, right? Patrick Hoban is the exact thing.
Deck building.
It is apps. I don't think we've ever had a deck builder that is on Patrick's level, and I don't think we've ever had someone who literally has changed the entire game, and it has not reverted since he started fucking topping. Like top this event, win this event, and the game just changes in his deck building constant. Like how many winning decks has this man created? He's still doing it. Like it's that. So they have like these 2 crazy skills. Like one of them sits down and you're going to lose because he's actually just fucking better than you. Not to say that like
outplay you.
He's actually going to outplay you. And the crazy part is that at one point Yu-Gi-Oh, that was more important than your deck. Clearly, because look at Edison's top fucking 16 deck list, right? Like
and look at the players. Look at the players that did well.
Right.
Jeff won. Billy was top 4.
Right.
That's all I really know. I'm guarantee if I went back, I'd find some more names.
There are definitely people who topped that event who were good people, like good players and everything like that. But
that's what it was back in the day. It was technical
skill. Play mattered so much more. And then the game shifts. and a new skill was required to be the best. And there's a dark period where Patrick is literally topping or winning everything with his little posse bot. Like, it's not just him. It's him.
There's the Hobots. It's Patrick and the Hobots.
It's him and the Hobots, right? They're winning every single thing.
My bad for interrupting, but that just reminded me of what I used to call Silverman's crew when I was like really little, because I used to go to alternate universes, AU. And Silverman was like by far clearly the best person.
Yep.
And he had like this little posse of people that were just always around him, and they would always do well because they just like did whatever Silverman told them to do, and they were like also did really well. And I used to always call them Silverman and the Silverines.
Oh, that's nice.
The Silverines, I love it.
I used to just call them that all the time. It was great.
Yo, the Silverines is amazing. I remember you telling me that, and I could not look at them the same after. Like, I always just saw them, and I'm not going to name the people who they were, but they were literally mini Silvermans in stature and everything. They literally that's what made it hilarious, is that they were just shorter, younger versions of him, like replicas, actual fucking replicas. And so when he called them the Silverines, I lost it because he just said it casually. Like, one day we were chilling in Kenny's basement and he just mentions them, and I'm like, who the fuck are you talking about?
No, I said it as if you should know what I'm saying already.
I was like, who the fuck are the Silverines? And he's like, like the crew that follows Silverman around. They're like conjoined at the hip. And I was like, you mean? And then I just said their names. He's like, yeah, them, whoever they, like the Silverines. I was like, yo. So Billy, Pat, Jesse, I also
think Christian might, like, because I'm a big believer that he could just win 2 in a row. Like, it could be the next 2 events.
Well, he tops every event.
Could just, he has like 24 tops or something ridiculous.
It could, any tournament, right, could be his. That's a crazy, him and Jesse have like I think him, Jesse, and Hani, honestly, they all have this thing where any tournament, right, could just be theirs. Like, any one of them. They top literally every single fucking tournament.
They just need like that shed of luck that it takes to win. You have to be lucky to win a tournament.
I tell people this all the time. Like, do not think that anybody who's ever won a Yu-Gi-Oh event did it all because they're just better than everyone. That is not the case. You still need luck with the best deck and with the best technical play. You still need luck. You could be the best technical player in a room and have the absolute best deck in a room, and it does not guarantee you a win. That is just a fact. Like, even when I won, I know I wasn't the best player in that room. Do you know why? Because one of the people who I beat on my way to winning was Jerry Wang, a 3-time SJC champion. I 2-0'd him, and he didn't take life points away from me. Do you know what he said at the end? Jerry Wang got up and said, "Do you mind if I see your deck?" I gave him the deck. He literally scanned through it and said, "I'm playing this from now on," and walked away. He also called a judge on me when I royal tributed him and I didn't have a hand, and I dropped his entire hand. It was like debris, titanium, of course, Lone Fire Blossom, pot. Like, he had a hand. I dropped all of his cards and left him with Pot of Avarice. And he calls a judge. And he's like, "I just want to know if he can legally activate that card without having a card in his hand." And the judge is like, "Well, why wouldn't he be able to?" And Jerry was like, "I just want to make sure. I just want to check because it matters a lot."
Man. It's either I die or I don't. This matters a lot.
And the judge is like, "Yeah, he absolutely can play that card with no cards in his hand." And Jerry's like, "Okay," and he just gives me a handshake.
Before you won, I was playing in a local, and I just playing versus a random guy playing Gravekeepers. But this is before Recruiter. This is when the deck was like not playable,
right?
And he royal tributes me. And I'm like, "Oh, what does that do?" He's like, "Oh, you discard your entire hand, or you discard all your monsters." And I picked it up and I read it.
You said it right the first time.
Yeah, pretty much. I picked it up and I read it, and I turned to Billy and I'm like, "Billy, is this a real card?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "This is a create a card." I was like, "Why does nobody play this?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, it's just not that good." I'm like, "It's not that good. It just 4-for-1 me." What do you mean it's not that good? And the next thing I know, that card's crazy.
Yep. The card is literally, so it's funny because Gravekeeper has become it becomes tier 0 for the event that it premiered at.
Talk about a fucking auto win button.
Tier 0.
I remember going to that sneak preview, you guys, and nobody was looking for that card. Like, McKay was buying them for like 50 cents.
Yeah.
Like, nobody was looking for a recruiter.
We knew what the plan was. Weird is that I still think this is the weirdest thing about that. Before the Gravekeeper's recruiter got announced, McCabe was saying there's a new Gravekeeper card in the next set. It's like TCG exclusive, and that's the deck we're playing for Atlanta. And I was like, what? How are you going to say that if you don't know what it is yet? And he was like, well, I'm assuming it's going to be a tuner, and that's going to break the deck. And I thought about it. I was like, oh, that would be fucking ignorant, right? Because like
you flip spy.
You flip. That was the logic. It was like you flip spy, game's over. Flip spy.
Well, like maybe like flip a Stardo. Like if it's a level 4 tuner, right? Flip spy, make a Stardo, set your back rows.
Yes. So we were talking about.
That seems good.
We were like, it's definitely going to be a tuner. That's going to break the deck. It's going to make the deck so insane because then you just have guaranteed protection for your Necro Valley. Just Stardust. It's now protecting my Necro Valley, and like it just changes everything. It comes out, gets announced. Recruiter is not a tuner. It's not even a 4-star monster because we wanted to be a 4-star tuner, if anything.
Yeah.
It's not even a 4-star monster. Granted, 3 stars would be Arcanite Magician, which is still broken, but like
I didn't think about that.
4 stars is just not okay. Anyway, so it comes out, we get the effect, and we're still keeping it under wraps that this is the deck we're playing, but I'm getting shaky about it. And he's like, oh, it's
Trust.
actually insane.
Yeah, trust.
And we're still playing the deck. It's actually insane what it does. And I was like, all right, let's start running this is back in AIM days. Like, I don't know if you guys remember AIM Instant Messenger. AOL Instant Messenger was a lifestyle for us back then. Okay? This is how old I'm finally giving you guys some insight on how old I actually am. But this is the AIM days.
Hold on. What was your AIM username? I gotta hear your AIM username.
I be trolling.
Oh, that's not even bad.
Yeah. It was a lowercase I.
Mine was.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine was Dirk Freak 321 because I'm from Dallas. My boy Dirk. You know how we get down here.
I know how you guys get down there. Philly's also crazy as hell with our sports fans and stuff like that. But yeah. So back then he was like, "Yo, Recruiter is still the play. It's not even a question. Like, this is the best deck." I tried playing at the time I was on Plants. Like, just to be clear, I was on Plants. I was like, Plants is the deck that just won the last tournament, which was in Philly, I believe. It was a SJC.
Oh, what good timing.
Yes, I guess it was a YCS. It was a YCS in Philly. McCabe actually got third playing X-Sabers. So at this time, he's like catching up to Silverman and Tops, or if not already surpassed Silverman and Tops. He just doesn't have the win yet, but he's like ripping the scene in 2010. Like, McCabe topped a couple times in 2010. I was like, holy shit, I don't know if I trust this deck. Like, this seems really weird. Plants just won, and like Plants is really, really good. Pot of Avarice, mind you, it's crazy to think that I was the guy caping for the Raikou deck, and now I fucking despise it. Right? Like, I am so against it. But we played a couple matches, me playing Plants and playing the Gravekeeper deck, and I could not win a single game if I constructed my hand. I could construct because I got to a point where I was like, fuck this. How about I just pick my 6?
You have to draw Trunade or else you can't play, right?
Well, the Trunade wasn't played, though, unfortunately. Trunade just wasn't played.
In the Plant deck?
It was not played.
Was it heavy? Was heavy illegal?
I think heavy was legal because we played double
we have to
Starlight.
draw heavy then.
We played double Starlight Road is the problem. And
ooh,
yes, and Solemn Judgment. So like Heavy Storm is actually a death sentence across the table. Like, every game want you to draw heavy. Like, I want you to draw heavy every single game, because one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to heavy into a Starlight Road, or you're going to heavy, and then after you heavy, there's no deck back then that did anything too crazy. So for the rest
they had to kill you.
For the rest of the game, I'm going to set every trap, and the deck played 12 monsters, so the deck is just traps. After you do that Heavy Storm, that's it. Like, the game ended, every round ended the same way. Either Royal Tribute and like you lose, or Heavy Storm hitting, like actually resolving or not resolving because of Starlight Road or Solemn Judgment, and then you lose that way. Like, it was just the same thing every round. Like, the deck went 10-0 in Swiss. Like, it wasn't me or McCabe, was a guy at our local who actually got the deck from losing to it. Like, he didn't have
that was Ronald Mack, right?
Yes, he actually got the deck list because McCabe and him used to play for money, and he essentially
that's nice.
He recreated the deck basically from losing to it. Like, all right, well, this deck.
Shout out to that guy. Did he? So he wasn't with you guys?
No, he was not actually with us. Like, when we booked our flight and hotel, and like, he's not actually he's from Philly, from the same local. We know him very well, but he is not actually with us at this tournament, right? So he's like on his own accord. He's doing his own thing. We didn't even know that he was playing that until he starts ripping the tournament. He goes undefeated in Swiss. So the deck went undefeated in Swiss, takes first, second, third, all prize cards, come home. Like,
that's so crazy. Like,
absolutely insane, right? But I still had my doubts, and then I couldn't win a game. I constructed my hand, still couldn't win a game. And it got to a point where it was like funny, so I switched to X-Sabers. I'm like, okay, let me play your deck. Like, this is McCabe's deck, the X-Saber deck. I'll play your X-Saber deck, and I'll fucking for sure cream you. Couldn't win a game. I was like, what is going on? Why is this deck seemingly so unbeatable. I'm going fucking, I don't know, like Boggart Knight, Partial, Fall Troll, and he's just like, I'm gonna book a moon your Partial. Game's over. I have a set spy. I'll just book a moon your Partial. I have a
it's about to go down.
I have a Necro Valley on the field. Nothing on your field can beat a spy. 2,500 defense. You can't beat it. The game's over. The game is actually over. You don't even realize it yet. Like, your options are, do you attack my face down monster? Okay, spy, get descendant. You lose. Like, what do we do? You lose? Like, what are we doing here? The game just falls apart. So every game's, and then the Royal Tribute games, like, unnecessary to even talk about.
Yeah.
Like, they're just game, because people play 20 monsters back then. That was just what you did. That was Yu-Gi-Oh! You played 20 monsters, you got Royal Tributed, you dropped 4 of them. Normally. Like, it's just a normal thing to have happen. Yeah, I just didn't believe, but lo and behold. But yeah, it's just crazy. The talent, man. The talent, some people are just born, like you were talking about how people are just gifted, right? Like, some people are just fucking gifted. And like, some people that I've grown up with in this game are just that. They're just so talented. They're so gifted at the things that they see, the foresight that they have, the future that they can see is like, it's unreal.
I could go on about that forever. I feel like there's natural talent, and then there's like people that aren't naturally good, and they have to like work for it.
Not to say really hard.
Not to say the people that are natural don't work at. Obviously they do, but they have a huge upper hand. Like, I am horrible. Like, unless I have like 2 weeks at least to fucking grind OD with one of these decks, I'm just gonna be just shit. So like, there's people like me who they need help. And then there's like, I had a friend that would just like pick up a deck he's never played before in top regional. He's just naturally good.
You know who's else like Sam Pedigo was like that, right? Sam Pedigo?
Sam was naturally good, but he was also the hardest worker like you've ever seen.
That's
I remember
Sam made spreadsheets and shit like that, didn't he?
He was ahead of his time, and he was a boomer even all the way back then. Even when he was like 22, he was a fucking boomer.
Yeah.
But Sam, I'm playing at a region. Sam had just started playing, right? And for people that don't know, like, he's not I don't think he's like a really well-known, like,
he was
old school guy.
Nowadays, I would say most people probably don't know Sam.
Maybe I'm jaded because I was around him all the time.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, my friend from my local, but Sam was so good. But maybe he wasn't that. Anyway, so we're at a regional, and this guy is like this new guy on the block. I don't really want to talk to him. I don't really want to fucking deal with this guy.
You're like me. I'm just naturally.
I'm just trying to duel and then get out. I don't like change. And he knows, like, me and Billy were like, oh yeah, me and Billy. Oh, you're from Texas, so me and Billy like,
yeah, I know. You got the red hoodie on his fucking look.
Oh yeah, I'm looking nice, but like, me and Billy were like probably the 2 best players at the local after like a certain time.
Yeah.
And Sam did what I did. He kind of like tried to get in with us, and at the time I'm like, oh god. This
and you knew it. You fucking knew it, and you hated it.
I knew it. I did, because he played like the joke even before he was like in our squad. He played so fucking slow. Like, Billy played him one time, and Sam draws to 3. I'm not even trolling. He sits there for like a minute straight, and then he goes Boggart Knight, another monster, Fall Troll, and Billy's like, "What took you so long?" He's like, "I'm thinking where I want to go at the end of the combo." The way that Tom, so he would fucking talk. Sam would talk.
I hate that only because if you're going to do that part first. Like,
just get it going.
Get that part out the way, and then start thinking afterwards. I actually coach my friends on this in the game. We play DC deck building, and there's these times where they'll just hold. If you don't know what DC deck building is, it's like Ascension. You like buy cards, stuff like that. So they'll have cards in their hand that they should just be putting on the table instantly. Like, this is the situation. You're not, because in that game there's no opponent either. Like, you don't really have an opponent technically. So
I can't play a trap card. I can't interrupt your play.
Right. So basically, if I have no back rows and I just have a Colossal Fighter in attack mode, and you drew to 3 and your hand is Boggart, Partial, Fall Troll, I understand that you're trying to I understand that you want to know what the line is once you summon all 3, because you're going to, but start off by summoning all 3. There's no world where you're not going to do that. Just start off by doing that first, and then think.
Yeah, I'm surprised you brought up Sam. I have so many things, but I was at a regional, and he's like, "Hey," because Sam has a really deep voice. He's like, "Hey man, what's your record?" I'm like, "I'm doing pretty good." I'm like, I was doing pretty well at the time. My record doesn't matter. And he's like, "Yeah, I just lost my 3rd round. my opponent flipped Solemn Judgment and I tried to trap stun. And in my head, I'm like, get away from me.
Right.
Just get away
This
from
is
me.
so funny because Sam ends up being like a really good player too.
Like really fucking good. Like he
And-
doesn't get his flowers.
and Sam is
fucking
also
good.
like we're talking about him now. He is one of the most polite people I've ever met.
Oh, he's a really good dude too.
Almost to the point where it started to disturb me a little bit.
Yeah.
I started to say to him, because I remember we would talk every event. Like every event, at some point, me and Sam would talk. I think he used to write for ARG or something. I don't know why.
He
but
did, yeah.
Okay, I'm like, why do I feel like Sam was on my team at some point? So at some point,
He won the YCS on ARG, and he was wearing his ARG shirt, and they made him cover up the logo with like if you go, it's really funny. If you go back and look at his photo,
yeah,
it's like him, and they made him hold something random
in front of it.
They're like, put this in front of your jet. It's like a binder or something. So
Right.
it's like holding up the trophy. Is really bizarre.
Yes, I remember that. That was a dark time in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Jesus.
It was.
But Sam is one of the most polite people. It started to literally disturb me because I was like, did you maybe like, I don't know, do something really bad in another life and this is like your redemption arc because you are way too nice. Like, I'm not going to say what I actually said because it's bad. Like it's real bad. When I actually said it, I named something that I think he like could have done in a past life that he's atoning for now. But I was like, are you this H guy reincarnated?
Jesus,
and
my
like,
goodness.
And like you are now trying to atone because like you are so outrageously nice and just such a good person, like on the outside, right? And I was like, you also wear glasses. You look like Clark Kent. I used to always call him Clark Kent.
He looks just like Superman. Yeah.
He like if anyone played Superman, if it wasn't going to be Henry Cavill or whatever his name is, like
it needs to be Sam.
It was gonna be Sam. Like those were literally the guy from Smallville, Henry Cavill, and fucking Sam Pedigo. Like that was literally Superman's cast. So every time I used to say like, I feel like you with the glasses and you without the glasses are two different people. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I had so many nicknames for this guy, but I love them because he was just such a breath of fresh air to just know somebody who genuinely, at least from the outside looking in, genuinely was just super polite. If I would say something mean about someone, because you know me, I would say something mean. I'd be like, that fucking guy was an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam would be like, well, like he would never like he would never just go in on them like because we're on ARG. He's wearing an ARG hoodie. I'm wearing an ARG hoodie. Let's be toxic. What the fuck is happening? Like, let's come on. This guy just won and he shouldn't have. Let's be toxic. And Sam was just like, no.
Yeah, he likes to look at it. He likes to look at things from both sides.
He's like, yeah, but I can get why he thought that. And I'm like, no, Sam, that play was terrible. And you know it was bad. Sam, you wouldn't have made that play. He's like, I wouldn't have, but I'm like, God damn it. He just wouldn't. I couldn't turn him. Just couldn't fucking turn him.
Fast forward after this reach, so he tried to trapstone a solemn, and like fast forward like you can't
just pick up right there.
And I was like, get away from me, dude. Like, please just leave me alone. And then he comes, and then like 2 months later, I'm like, we're playing and we're just chilling, and like he's, we're becoming friends, and I'm like, damn, is this guy better than me now? Like, this guy's really nice.
The realization when it creeps in is so funny.
What happened? I used to be better than this guy. Now I'm coming to him for advice.
The realization is so good.
What's going on?
That actually happens. I'm telling you. There's a point where the guy you make fun of or the guy who you, for lack of a better word, look down on, eventually surpasses you, and it's kind of just ignorant as hell. It is just the most.
Like, damn.
It's
like, am I ass? Am I ass now?
My ass. Yo, you can't just transition and go. So anyway, he got done trying to trap stun a solemn judgment. Like after I just praised this guy for being not only a good player but also being a saint. And
another thing, like I used to play test with him all the time. Like he was my number one playtesting buddy for a certain period of time. And like he would make a play and then he'd be like, hang on 1 second, and he'd pull out the spreadsheet.
Oh hell.
He'd be like, he's like, I'm supposed to do something else. I'm like, Sam, I'm not gonna fucking sit here and watch you flip through your spreadsheet that you could do anyway. It was like stapled together, and he's like licking his finger, trying to find the right page.
That's
I'm like, come on, dude.
Are you saying he had like a spreadsheet of like responses to plays?
No, like okay, so he's played Inzectors for a long time, and he'd be like, okay, Centipede lived, I have Hornet in my graveyard, and I have Dragonfly in my hand. Let me figure out the combo. I'm like, yo!
That's fire. My man was on one.
Dragonfly.
What's funny about that, Kenny, is that there's a point in Yu-Gi-Oh where that becomes a common thing, like spreadsheets.
Yeah, he would be really good now. He would
Yes.
be really good now
Man.
because he would work at mastering the combos.
Yeah, everything now is how well you can execute combos and how well you can play into hand traps and what
Right.
like you need to be able to pivot after a hand trap. It's a skill. Like that is an actual
Yeah.
skill.
It's like, okay, I have to play around Ash Blossom. He doesn't have Ash. He would Ash me here. Okay, now I have to play around so and so. Now it's Nibiru.
Yeah.
Now it's it's ever evolving combo strings. It's like I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm too old, Frazier. I'm too old.
I understand.
I wanted to say real quick to this something you were saying at the start of like this little segment was how like you were saying that some people are good right away and like it takes you time. You got to like grind it out and figure it out and shit like that. It's something that's cool and interesting in a lot of games where some people are really good really quick at a new game or a new format, and then they fizzle. Obviously,
Yeah.
some people are really good. As soon as it starts, they're like the first one to understand it,
Yep.
and they'll win something. But then they fizzle, and as the format or the game or whatever extends in its life, there's the other people that kind of grow and learn, and then they become the best. And the person that was the best at the start kind of just fizzles and like doesn't keep up or whatever the case may be. And it's interesting to see those different dynamics of people. Like there are people that I've seen, like a game comes out and they are just the best in the room. No one's better than them. But then like a year later, they don't really do anything in that game anymore. They don't really have results or anything like that.
I don't play chess. I don't know anything about chess. I barely know how the pieces move. But I was listening to a Hikaru interview, and he's like, when I was a kid, my brother was like the best player at his age group in the world.
Damn.
And he was like really young, like 12 and under. He's like literally the best in the world. And my brother's like, he said my brother never put any effort into chess. He was just that much better than everybody. But for Hikaru, who is now like one of the best players, was like, I was not like that. I got my ass beat all the time because my brother was better than me. But I worked way harder. And like it's such a stupid old adage, but it's so true. You learn so much from losing. You lose and you bring yourself to realize what just happened. When you win, it's like, oh sick, I won.
Yep.
But when you lose, it's like, why did I lose?
Yep.
And then that is how you grind. That's how you get better.
Go ahead, Kenny.
I was going to say something to become a great player or a great whatever and whatever you're doing is like analyzing your losses. And I think the key to becoming the best, like if you talk to probably a lot of the best players, is they know how to also analyze their wins. Like, because I do think there's so much more to learn on a loss, because when you lose, you understand there's something to learn because you lost. A lot of people win and they go, I won. There's nothing to go back and analyze. But if you look and you talk to or listen to interviews of a lot of like the best at a thing, they look back at the games that they won and they still even analyze that and see how they could have lost. Like I know there's really funny like Kobe Bryant clip where they're up like 2-0 in the finals and he's like pissed in the interview and he's like getting interviewed and the guy's like, why aren't you happy? I thought you'd be happier. Like you guys are up 2-0. And Kobe Stoneface is like, is the job finished?
Yeah, he's like, we're not done yet.
The job's not done. Like
he's nice.
Nice. He's like just like shrugged. Job's not done. Like
Stone cold killer.
He's up 2-0. Most people would be like feeling good. He's just like job's not done.
Yeah,
and it's like that's that shit that it takes to be the best.
I agree. I agree with both of those things. Like I learn obviously, and this is for everyone learns more from losing, but I do learn from wins too. And it's the reason why for Edison format, which is the only format I play now, the view replay button is my favorite button now.
That thing's insane.
It's my favorite button because
the only reason I go back and see that is if like I want to see if my opponent fucking ripped it on me. That's like the
so I go back win or lose because I mainly do it for the video series, like the Master and the Pupil. We do
the content. Yeah, I
do it for the content, but I also do it for my sanity too because I like to know if I should have won or lost the game as well. So I go back and kind of replay it if he played it differently in my mind. And when I see things like, oh shit, he actually had oppression, he just didn't set it. I'm like, we just lose. Like we actually just lost. Like no question. I would have special Cyber Dragon, he would have oppression, and that would have actually been the game. Like stuff like that. You just see things like, oh, if he just did this was fucking game. Like
your opponent making mistakes is just part of any game.
Yes.
And like that's what people don't understand. They're like, oh, you only won because your opponent fucked up. Okay. Like, am I gonna play versus like the best player of all time every round?
I tell people that all the time too. Like
mistakes are part of it. Like you're gonna make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes.
Absolutely,
it's like,
I literally misplayed.
Human nature.
we've misplayed Master and the People. There's an episode where we played. This is the second time we played Blackwings, so this is on our Patreon. The second time we played Blackwings, I got so frustrated because a guy mind crushed us, and it was the best mind crush ever. But like, and at first, Stango, like Kenny's cousin, he thought that the guy like outplayed us or like did something really good. And I explained to him after the match was over, I said, he did not outplay us. I want to be clear here. We opened up Whirlwind Shura and he had no fucking choice but to do exactly what he did. Like, if you're facing down one of the best openings in the entire format, it puts you into survival mode. And I said the situation played out for him literally perfectly, but not because he's skillful. It's literally what he had to do or else he dies.
Right.
It is literally nothing. Like I said, if you were in the same situation, you would have done the exact same thing because you didn't have a choice because I put you in such a shitty situation. So I was explaining to him that, and like when we watched a replay and stuff like that, there was a game where we played against a guy and we get him to a point where we have Whirlwind and he just attacked us for a lot. It's like his last stand. So his field is Yugioh Guardian, Bora, and Magical Android.
But he's made his play. He's
pushed. He has no cards in. He's top deck. His
pants are down.
He has no cards in hand. He has one back row, right? He has no cards in hand. One back row is Yugioh, Magical Android, Bora. Our field is Whirlwind, and we have Heavy Storm in hand with Sirocco, Blizzard, Bora, and Gale. Our hand is fucking cracked, right? We lose this game because I was so mad after the Mind Crush, right? The Mind Crush, like, really, really, really tilted me. It tilted me so bad. And this is something else that I always stress is like proper mindset. Normally, I usually don't let my mindset deteriorate, but it deteriorated this day. Like I'm
assuming you did not heavy and you got cooked because of it.
I heavied. What I did after heavy was just completely wrong. So I should have gone heavy, summon Sirocco, summon Gale, half your guy, so half your android, kill your Bora, make Dark End, send your Yugioh Guardian. You are now top decking.
Mm-hmm.
I have Blizzard next turn for follow-up. Game is fucking over.
You're lit.
Instead, I did some like really rash play where I just said
some pump nonsense.
I did. I went summon everything, pump, kill Yugioh, set. I believe it was set D prison. He goes draw Gale, and we were so low that we couldn't survive because Gale's.
Oh, you only had one D prison, yeah.
Gale's going to half a guy, and then Gale's going to like the other guys go like Android and Bora are still in the field.
Yeah.
And no matter which one he attacks with the Gale half, we're dead. And so we end up losing the game that was 100% unlosable if I just play correctly. And I had to reassess, like that wasn't even just a misplay. It was also just poor mindset. Like I just wanted to rush the game to be over because I was like, well, we still win anyway. We have so much over this guy. He's top decking. And it was like, well, you didn't consider his outs. Like he could still draw things that will kill you. Like brain control also was game. Like the one D prison is not stopping from like brain control is going to kill you too. So it was just a situation where like we going all the way back into this episode's almost 3 hours, but going all the way back, like Edison format, you can just continuously learn from everything and learning from your losses. Like I learned a lot from that loss. It's like I need to remain calm. I have to get back to like the old me that's like very stoic, very calm in every situation, regardless of how bad the situation is, or don't get cocky because that's what really happened. I was like, I still win. Like I still have my hand is still cracked out of this world. Like I still win the game. And also just to correct the story because I'm realizing I did not have Bora. So my hand is Sirocco, Gale, Blizzard, Heavy Storm. I'm pretty sure is what it was. But yeah, you just clear all three of his monsters. He's top decking, and you said D prison. What the fuck is like he draws? So he goes draw Gale, half Dark End, attack D prison.
To attack D prison, yeah.
Yep, summon Blizzard, kill you. Game's over. Handshake.
Yeah.
It was very simple, but like in that moment, I was so heated and so annoyed. And then Stango was also talking, and he was like, "Oh, that was so good! Like he really got us." And I'm just like, "Oh my god!"
Oh no, God no.
Yeah. So but you can learn a lot. Like, and then even in the games that we win, I still view replay, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, we won, but we shouldn't have." But like Scott said, I can only play what's in front of me. Like the guy who Yugioh Guardian my Mystic Tomato. Like I can only play what's in front of me. Like that's the decision he made.
Like, hey, I can't play for me and you. Like I mean.
Like
that's boring.
I can only do so much.
That's also one of the best feelings when you're like, I am fucking cooked. All he does is do. Oh, wait a second here. Hold on, he just fucking punted nicely. Now I'm looking at a shot.
He's throwing. I love it. Honestly.
Or like when you're in Discord and you're sharing your screen and like your opponent makes a play and somebody else in the Discord is like, your opponent is ass. Your opponent is ass.
They start losing it.
Oh my, what is going on? What is going on? I'm like, calm down. This is just what's meant to be. He fucked up.
Yep. He just makes Brio pitch his hand and kills you and he doesn't even see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That is we on this podcast honestly haven't talked enough about that feeling, but that is one of the most underrated feelings in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is seeing game on the other side of the field and it not happening. Like, yeah, you see it.
Think about how many times you've done that, right? Like you've like this is why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so much better now. Where like let's say back in the day where there was no dueling book, there was no Discord, you can't share your screen. You make a play, right?
Yep.
And then if nobody was there to say, hey, you could have done this and this, you never would have known that you had a better play. Never. It's lost in the abyss, and you're just like, damn, I lost because of X reason, X, Y, and Z. No, you lost because you fucked up. That happens all the fucking time.
It does.
And now it gets caught more. It gets caught way more.
Yeah, that's true. Information is made, and this is something that we do talk about often. The average player now is better than the average player from 05, right? Like 05 players.
If you take me and you stick me back in 05, I'm the greatest player you've ever seen.
You're the greatest player of all time.
It's not even close.
You would literally ruin you would be considered.
I just roll everybody.
You win every tournament. You win.
You always have the best deck.
You always have the best deck. You win every tournament. The ban list is going to be way different.
You're also rich. You can just buy out so many cards that are just cheeks now, but little did you know.
You buy out everything. You literally ruin the game. The ban list. You change the ban your first format. You change the ban list.
Mm-hmm. You know what's fucked up? That I've had the same thought, right? But what you're saying is so true. But then because you change history, if you're not actually the Billy Breaks or the Jeff Jones or the Patrick Hobans, they come because this is true. Like in Melee, right? I've had this argument with people where it's like, if I go back in time, I'm the best player in the world. I'm terrible at Melee. If I go back in time, though, I'm the best player in the world. However, that's only for like 2 or 3 tournaments.
Because then Yu King shows up.
They're going to see what I'm doing. Yeah, they're going to see what I'm doing, and then the people that are actually better than me are going to adapt and then grow. And so, like in Yu-Gi-Oh!, when you change the ban list and then you awaken the world, like how Patrick Hoban changed the world of how people play, when you change the world, the Patrick Hobans and the Billy Breaks are now their brain is now shifting. They're going to start stomping you again.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way.
You get to be the best in the world for a couple tournaments. You get to be the best in the world.
I'll take it.
Kenny and I actually talked about this. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask you this, Fraser, because you're showing Stango how to play, right?
Yep.
Can you tell that because he is good at Melee, he's grasping onto Yu-Gi-Oh better?
No, it's the exact opposite.
Really?
It's actually such an interesting concept. I would like to have Stango on the podcast again to discuss how things have been going with his learning process. So Melee takes. Look, this is not actual scientific, but I'm going to speak in scientific terms for a second here to describe what I'm saying. Just follow what I'm saying. Stango's brain for Melee uses one side. I think that the side of your brain you use for Yu-Gi-Oh! And things that are more cerebral like that is the other side of your brain, right? So that's not a scientific fact, but I'm just going to use this argument. So let's say he uses the left side of his brain for Melee. Melee requires hand-eye coordination, something you do not need in Yu-Gi-Oh! At all. It requires hand-eye coordination, muscle memory, right? Something you also don't need in Yu-Gi-Oh! At all. And it requires instinct, which you could argue instinct is in both games. It is for sure, right? Like reads are essentially instinct. But the instinct in Melee is a lot different. In Melee, when Stango's playing an opponent in Melee, because he's one of the best Melee players ever. He's top 32 Mango players in the world, right? So like, that's absurd. For Melee, that is fucking insane. So Stango's brain, when he's playing Melee, because of how fast Melee is, it's such a fast fucking game. Like, it is one of the fastest fighting games of all time. It is insane, the decision making and the button presses that the top, like Mango, the things that his fingers can do in a short, the frames that are happening that he's in, like I genuinely think that people like Mango and Mewtwo King and those guys, the Five Gods and like Leffen and all, they can see the frames of the game. Like, because it doesn't make sense otherwise if they couldn't when you watch what they do in certain situations. It's like, holy shit. There was a 1 frame opportunity for this to happen, and you hit a 1 frame and 5 times in a row. Like 5 times in a row, you hit a 1 frame thing. and you're not mashing. Like they're actually playing, but you know what they're actually doing is playing off of instinct. They're playing off its speed. It's so fast that they're actually not thinking, right? Like they're not thinking. Now this brings me to my point. In Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a game like chess. It is a game where you need to literally think about what you want to do, and you can do everything or nothing. So what happens to Stango is because he's so good at melee, it actually harms him in Yu-Gi-Oh because he often speeds up too much and he starts making plays that he didn't think about. And it literally grinds my gears. I get so angry. Like literally, I've raged before because of how fast he'll do something. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, why did you do that? Like, that was so bad. I was like, that's so fucking bad. Like, if you look at your hand, you should have done this. And to me, I'm like, it's so obvious. You need to slow down. You're playing too fast. He gets into these modes where he's no longer thinking, and I can tell. And I get on him about it all the time. I'm like, you're not thinking. You're literally not thinking. You're playing so fast. But it's because of how great he is as something else that his brain is literally trained to play in a very quick and snappy way. Like in melee, you don't have
instinct, boom.
You don't have time to sit there and think about what Fox is going to do. You just
like,
have
he's coming at me.
You have to feel it. You just gotta fucking feel it. And he feels it in that game. It's like a part of him. He breathes it. But in Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm like, bro, there's a clock. And the clock is 40 minutes. You have time. Slow down. Look at your whole opening hand. What is the best play here? Think about it.
Yeah, the reason I ask you is because there's some people that just don't have it in anything. Like they'll never be
trust me,
top in anything. He has reached the top. Not the top, you know what I mean, but he has
like he's
reached the theoretical top of the mountain.
He's been very, 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 very close to the mountaintop.
So that's why I'm asking, insane. Like, if you find somebody that has it, they have it in something else. I feel like that would transition to another thing.
It does not in his case. So it's actually funny.
You know what I'll say, though, is there is a piece of it, the piece of it that transition is, regardless of how good or what you have, like you guys said earlier, there's a level of work ethic, like the guy that has spreadsheets. There's a level of work ethic required to get there, no matter how talented you are.
Right, you have to sit there and grind and grind and grind if you want to be the best in melee.
Something you'll know, something you may, like a person may or may not know about Stango is like Fraser is saying, like, whatever it may be that makes him really bad in aspects of Yu-Gi-Oh, for the last fucking 3 years, he like, not 3 years, but however many years it's been, he like grinds the game and plays it so fucking much and like wants to learn, and he's constantly PMing Fraser and like tagging Fraser. So like that's the part that I think, you know, helps make him even better and will help make him better than other people, is like the fact that he keeps even though like he sucks and he gets yelled at and Fraser calls him an idiot. Like for some people,
though. You have to do that.
This morning,
you have to do that.
They're like, all right, I'm done. Like Fraser's fucking annoying. Like they'll be done with it. But then like for him, he's like, he'll fucking cry about it and then he'll take it and try to get better.
Stango has go ahead, Scott.
Well, I was gonna say, like, there like when I was talking about earlier, when Billy would yell at me, there's people that would like hide in a corner and be like, "Oh, he says I'm ass." And then there's people that are like me, who are like, "Oh my god, I'm fucking terrible. How the fuck did I not see that? Oh my god." And it's like, who are you to argue with somebody who is way better than you? Way better. You just have to sit there and take
it. So, and I'm glad Kenny brought this up because I wasn't going to say this myself, but Kenny's right. Stango has a really crazy work ethic. So let's be clear. Stango is ass. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, Stango is basically what we would consider a fish or a buy. But let's be clear, he's only been playing the game for 2 years. It'll be 3 next year, but he's been playing the game for like 2 years. Like solidly 2 years in, right? So where he's at in a 2-year time span is pretty good. But he's also, and this go back to the other thing, luck, he happens to be in a Discord group with one of the best players who ever played Yu-Gi-Oh. That is helping to accelerate a lot of the bad shit that people who don't have anyone around them who's good at the game, he's so like, you don't have to go through that. You don't have to think that Crystal Beasts are playable. Because why? I'm not going to I'm not going to let you play Crystal Beasts, right, Kenny? I'm not going
friends
don't
let friends play Crystal Beasts.
I literally, the second he was like, "Oh, this deck looks really cool," I just was reading all the cards. It's not playable.
I would be like, "Oh, really? Yeah. Well, that deck's fucking terrible, and you are never playing it. So move on to the next."
Literally me. I'm very mean about it, but the good thing about him, and I'm glad Kenny brought this up. Stango has really thick skin. Like I have said some really harsh things to him, and It's even got to the point where like he's teared up, he's fucking raged and like been super sad, but what he does not do is quit. That fucking man, no matter how bad I beat him down and say the craziest, wildest, most condescending shit to him, he gets back up the next day and he is just grinding DB again and sending me replays and looking for my approval and my validation and seeing, tell me if I did something wrong. Like, I think I played really well this set. And here my ass goes, because I'm still such an asshole. I'm like, yeah, you won the match, but you also fucked up here. So even though you won, your opponent was trash and he should have beaten you because you fucked up. But yes, you did win the match. Like, I'm still that guy because I'm such a harsh teacher. I actually tell people, I've been in a relationship with a couple Yu-Gi-Oh players in my life. And one of the things that happens, now this is not a common thing because there are not many girls who play Yu-Gi-Oh, but there are a lot, most of the Yu-Gi-Oh players are guys, and I happen to be into guys. So it's more common for this situation to happen. But when I was with Yu-Gi-Oh players, one of the things that would happen is they would want to learn from me, and I would tell them this is not going to be good for our relationship. I can't turn off how competitive of a person. I could
not do that shit either.
I can't turn it off. I will not differentiate you from anyone else that I'm teaching. I can't do it. So the whole part where like we're in a relationship and I love you and I'm supposed to like coddle you and take care of your feelings and manage your emotions and your feelings.
That shit's out the window if you misplay.
I literally don't. I don't have it, Scott. And this is a shortcoming that I know about myself. I know how cutthroat and how competitive I am as a person. I literally can't turn it off, and I don't even try anymore. I used to try to fight against it and change who I was fundamentally, and I realized it's a part of my DNA. I cannot change it. I am too competitive. When you mess up, I'm going to get angry. I don't care that you're my boyfriend. I'm going to be mad. Okay? Yeah. And that is going to literally ruin our relationship outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've had it happen before. So when it comes up, like let's say I was dating someone now, if it comes up, I'll tell them I'm not doing it. I don't care how much you bet, because they don't know, because they're innocent. They're just like, oh,
yeah,
you're such a good player. Please teach me, please teach me. And then they get mad, like, oh, you won't teach me. That's so fucked up. Like you love me and you won't even show me how to. You don't want me to be better than you. And then it's like all of this gaslighting shit. No. It goes in a whole. I've had some. I'm old. I've had some experiences that are so crazy, and it's like, damn, my relationship is doomed if I teach you, and this relationship is doomed if I don't teach you. Because you think that I'm not.
You're in a pickle.
Yes, I'm in a pickle. You think that I'm not teaching you because.
Can I ask a question? Do you think anybody that is dating, do you think anybody dated you or tried to get, I mean, I'm sure people tried to get close to you for the sole purpose of you teaching them?
Yes.
Or tried to date you for the sole purpose of you teaching them?
I've had some fan relationships that I should not have done. Like people who were absolutely obsessed with me. This is the peak of me being a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I'm on RNG, same team with Billy Brake, Jeff Jones, fucking Ryan Spicer, Alex Van Sant Cordero, like all these people, right? We're all on a banner. We have a fucking banner. We got tokens made. We're topping every tournament. Like everything is going great. Life is great. One of the best players in the world. In fact, top 10 literally by the champ trade thing. Everything is great, right? So I go to events, I'm signing cards, kissing babies, the whole nine, right? Not literally, but you get the idea. So everything is going great. And I have some people who have come up to me and they have been so infatuated with me as a fan of me from Yu-Gi-Oh! And then at some point they come on to me, but then I realized that the intention was like, sure, you could like me physically attractive or whatever, but what your real goal was is you wanted to be a better player. And I'll notice that most of our conversations, because whereas people who are infatuated with me from Yu-Gi-Oh! And like they like who I am in Yu-Gi-Oh! And they want to learn from me, I realized that the relationship was really them trying to, for lack of a better word, use me for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. Use me for like, they want to be close to a top player. They want to be in a conversation. They want to be at the dinners. You know how it is. It's such an egotistical community in general, and it's no fault of ours. Like, it's just fun. It's how it is. Like, people want to be at the Fogo de Chãos when we used to do that, right? Like, people want to be at the table where you have like 10 rings at the table and all that. People love that shit. So some people will literally get close to you.
Groups.
So yes, literally a groupie. There you go.
Yuppies.
Literally a yuppie. They'll get close to you for that reason, and I'll realize it after a while because at first I start off not thinking anything about it. I'm like, oh, you just like me. But then I'm realizing like every conversation somehow leads into like, show me this or let's play some Yu-Gi-Oh! And while I love Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't like it as a job. Like I'm so competitive at it that I'm kind of annoyed when I'm dueling. Like I want to beat my opponent so bad that every time they stop me from winning the game immediately, I'm annoyed that every Mirror Force and Deep Prison that gets flipped because it's slowing me down from winning the game. So while they're like, let's play, I don't like playing for fun. I don't like playing for casual. If you walk up to me at locals, even in 2022, if you walk up to me at locals, you're like, hey, Fraser, you want to play a quick game? Most people know I decline. If we're not playing for anything, I don't just like to play people. I like to play for two reasons: for win, to win, like to win the game, to win a tournament, or to test. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit down with Silverman, I'll sit down with McCabe, and we will literally run before YCS 100 games. Not real games. We'll play with our hands face up, but we'll run 100 games just to test. And I love doing that. And I love going to a YCS and fucking topping and all that shit. I love it, right? But like what I do not like is me just playing to teach you, and I can't gain anything from you. You're a fucking fish. You're a new player. Like you don't know anything, but you want to learn from me. And so yes, to answer your question, yes, I've definitely had at least one relationship that I can recall where a guy has literally gotten close to me, and essentially the whole goal for him was to be popular in Yu-Gi-Oh! And also to learn from somebody who was really, really good at the game. And obviously the relationship deteriorated once I realized like,
what the fuck was going on?
yeah, like this isn't actually what I didn't come, like we're not together in my head so that I can teach you Yu-Gi-Oh! I like you because I like you, but you like me because of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like that is really the overarching thing here. And that shit sucks. Like that definitely fucking sucks when it happens. But yes.
I want to, go ahead.
I was gonna say,
no, finish that point.
But like going all the way back to Stango and just like his mindset is very, very good for how rough this game is and how, to put it bluntly, how toxic the community can be. He has the iron skin that you need, and I think maybe he got that from Melee. But like he has the iron skin that I think is necessary to take harsh criticism, being told that you are shit, you are worse than shit.
That's a big part of it.
He has that iron skin that you literally need to have. So whether he has the talent or anything else, he has the hard work ethic and he has the skin. And it's still yet to be determined if he will actually produce greatness, because at some point you still do have to have it, right? Like you said, some people will just never ever be good. Like there's just some people just never be good. And the jury is still so early in his Yu-Gi-Oh life. The jury's still out on whether or not like he will produce and become insane or not. But like at the very least, he fucking refuses to quit. No matter what I say, no matter how bad of a day he's having in Yu-Gi-Oh, he refuses to give up, and that's valuable.
I'll say on that note, it's funny because he's similar to some guys you guys mentioned, like Furman, where he was like the youngest and kind of the butt of a joke. He was the one that always got made fun of. Like Stango growing up, like we were older than him, so we were just better than him because we're older than him, and so we all made fun of him. And then eventually, he ended up meeting people that were better than us at Melee. And he would play with them all the time, and they would destroy him, send him home crying, make fun of him, call him a bitch, all this stuff.
Damn.
And just like but he'd always go back and play them again. And then like one day he'd come back and plays us, and he destroys all of us, like absolutely destroys us. And he goes back and he still loses to these guys, but then eventually he beats them, and then he plays with like super names like Cactuar and Zoo and Velocity, who Velocity's not as known outside of the tri-state area, but he plays with all these people. He ends up playing with Zero in like PM and stuff like that, and everybody, like a lot of people know Zero name. He plays with all these people. He used to play with Wizrobe, who is like one of the top Melee players in the world, before anybody knew who Wizrobe's name was. So he plays with all these people, and he loses to all of them, and he gets better and better and better until he's the absolute best player in like the Philadelphia area, the tri-state area, to where like people fear him. And then he's also insanely good at shooting games, and like, but that all came from people calling him a bitch, shitting on him, bullying him, and him just becoming better than all of those people.
So he knew Wizrobe before Wizrobe was Wizrobe, right?
Yes, him and Wizrobe used to play PM and Smash 64 online, like all fucking day, hang out in calls, and just like.
That's what I was saying about like me with the Silverman and McCabe thing. Like they were not Silverman and McCabe, the names that people know them for now. Like they were not at the time. They weren't that, but they were always insane, right? Like just because you haven't topped the YCS, just because you haven't won a YCS, doesn't mean that you're not actually cracked at the game. Because there are people who never got to travel. There's people who like they have a bad beat at their tournament, stuff like that. But like some people are just cracked out of their mind, and it just takes time. And so eventually they do become. But like I was around them from the very beginning, so it's like being around Wizrow before he was Wizrow, being around Mango and all of those guys before they were like, that's insanely lucky, right? You're just around.
Yeah, it's just luck.
Immense talent, just immense talent. But I really like this discussion too on just a newer player and how like the gene, something like we talked about the immense talent.
Short answer: bullying is good.
Yes,
bullying is good.
Bullying
That's how I got good.
Great. If you can't tell by the many times on this podcast that we actually have said that we've bullied people in group chats and stuff like that, and they've become literally the absolute best. The reason why you're shit at the game, if you're listening to this, is because you haven't been bullied enough. Okay,
it's literally so facts. Like the group that I hang out with the most, they're like my brothers. Team Legacy. You know some of them, Frazier. You know like Adrian, Javi, Oscar.
Yep.
It was just constant your ass, like constant shit talk. At the end of the day, like everybody knows it's all love though. Like when I lost to Patrick.
Yes.
Like they were there, they were all behind me, they were patting me on the back. It's like, hey, good job, bro. Like at the end of the day, it's all love, but in the moment, you're just you want to bring the best out of like everybody that you want to bring the best out of them.
And I'm gonna say this because this is another thing too. Is like men are just like that. Like it's a thing in us where we can just handle a lot of us anyway. Obviously, this is a generalization, so don't take it super literally. But in general, really competitive men are thick-skinned. Like we hate losing, and we can take really harsh critiques. For example, I remember in like 2020 or 2021, some locker room talks leaked from a college. It was a coach in college, I believe, is the way he was talking to the players, right? He was fucking cursing
going
them.
the fuck in on their lives, probably.
He was destroying, saying everything. Like he was going in on them. And the tapes leaked, and social media got a taste of it, and they were like, this is terrible. No one should ever.
Yeah, the snowflakes.
And every actual athlete was in the comments like, calm the fuck down, you snowflakes. This is how every single coach I've ever had. It's clear that you guys have never played a single fucking sport in your life. This is how every single coach in the world talks to their team. Not a single coach in the world is exempt from talking exactly like. They're like, actually, he was kind of nice to them. Like all the athletes came to the defense. Like we are not.
I've heard worse.
We are not canceling this guy because that's the culture we live in. Everyone's so fucking sensitive now. So even people could even be offended. Like, oh, you're saying that men can handle it, but like, are you saying that other people can't handle it? Like, that's not the fucking point. Okay, the point is like men can just handle it, period. Like we can just take it, and we're used to taking it in competitive environments. Men just take harsh critiques. That's just what it is. Harsh criticism is a part of being a competitive man, and Stango has it. Like he's a very, very competitive man, and I love that out of him. And it's the only thing that keeps our relationship going, because there's been plenty of times where I wanted to quit on him. There's been plenty of times where I was like, after today, I'm done with this kid. Like he's shit. I'm done. He's not learning. I'm wasting my time. I'm talking to a wall. Like don't. And this is the PG-13 version of it. Like this is the absolute PG-13 version of what I'm saying. But like I've gone in on him so bad, and there'll be days when I'm like, I'm quitting on this. I'm done with this. This is the worst student I've ever had in my life. It's like talking to a wall. And the next thing you know, he'll still keep sending me replays like a fucking feeble mouse, like coming up to me and being like, can you please review this, please, and let me know if I didn't. I'm sorry about yesterday. Can you please review this? And next thing, here's my sucker ass being like, you know what? God damn it, I can't.
Fine.
I can't give up on you yet. Like there's still, and then I'll in a replay, I'll see a spark of greatness. I'll see a fucking, and that's all it takes for me to be sucker back in, is I'll see a spark of greatness, and I'm like, that was actually real. Like he'll do something that I literally would have done play for play, but it wasn't obvious, right? Because I don't care if you go whirlwind Shura, like you're gonna get a fucking cookie for that. But like he'll do something, I'm like, holy shit, that was the exact play I was thinking. But as I was watching this replay, I said, there's no way he sees it. There's no way he's gonna see this. And then he'll do it. I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing. Like that's
it's funny. Like I was playing Edison a couple days ago, and I made a play, and I thought the play was fine. and Jesse Samick was on the call. I know you know Jesse Samick. Jesse Samick was like,
Oh, Jesse's insane. I love him.
Jesse's like, I would have done this. I would have done this and probably done that instead of that. And I was like, oh, I didn't even see that play.
Yep.
And then he ODs on me. He goes, I'm going to be honest. I didn't see your play. Like, in a bad way.
Shit.
I was like,
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
You just OD'd on
Oh,
me.
shit. Oh, my God.
I'm gonna be
I was like,
real with you.
damn.
Oh, shit.
That's the first time I heard that one before. I'm like, damn.
That's
Oh,
insane. Oh, my God.
that's
Yo,
amazing.
Jesse's goated. Jesse has 2 YCS wins. Well, one's SJC, but 2 YCS wins and an ARG win. He's very, very good. And also, when
It would never happen, but you got to get him on the pod. It would never happen. He would never do it, but you got to
Jesse
try.
literally lives with Steve. Like he literally. I think if I strap him to a chair in Steve's basement, which he's already there anyway. If I strap
Jesse's
him to
the best.
if I tie him down to a chair and put a microphone in front of his face that he cannot move with any part of his body, I could perhaps get him on the podcast.
Because he's won in 2 eras. Not many people have won in multiple eras.
Yeah, Hansel, the 2-time national champion, the only 2-time national champion, by the way, for the United States. He's
Bergenstein alert.
Yeah, he's won in 2 different eras, which is crazy. He won in 2011, and then he won literally 11 years later on the same day. That shit is fairy tale, by the way. That shit is like super fake fairy tale that this man won on the same day, 11 years apart, the same tournament, which is so many crazy, like it's just a crazy thing. That is just the craziest shit. Hansel's win this year was insane to me. But yeah, Jesse has won in 2 different eras. He's one of the hardest opponents I've ever had too. When I think about it, because I always say, and I still think this is true, but Nazar, I think, is my hardest opponent I've ever played in Yu-Gi-Oh! I've played Billy many times. I've played Jeff many times. I've played Patrick many times. I've played a lot of the greats many, many times. Nazar is like, I don't know. I still to this day can't quite put my finger on it, but like, if I had to attribute it to something that I think off the top of my head, it's very hard to read him, is one. I'm not used to that. I'm used to being able to read good people because it's just, if you're used to playing against good people, you go accustomed to reading good people. But Nazar somehow, and maybe, and this is going to be like slightly shady, but I actually don't, and I'm not intending it to be this way. I think it's because every time I've played Nazar in the past, I didn't perceive him as a good player. And so I normally do have a harder time reading bad people because you get where I'm going. Bad
They
people,
don't even know what they're gonna do next. How the fuck are you supposed to know?
And so when I look at the guy in front of me with his hat on
Jesse
backwards,
said, "I didn't see your play."
Yeah,
basically.
That literally so crazy.
When I sit in front of Nazar and he has his hat on backwards, mind you, this is YCS champion Nazar at this point, right? So me and him played in top 8 of Dallas, and this is his second win. And we both said when we sat down, whoever wins this tournament wins the whole YCS, right? So when I sit down, even after this guy has won a YCS already, like, so me and him, we both have our YCS win. And he was the guy who won right after me. Like, I won Atlanta, and then he immediately won Dallas the next year, first YCS of the year. He wins the event. So, like, we have this really weird history where we played each other before YCS Atlanta in YCS Philly, the one that McCabe got third at. Me and Nazar played each other, never played each other before, never seen each other before. We played each other in that tournament, a Lightsworn mirror match, right? And then we go on to win the next 2 YCSs, being 0 tops. Neither one of us have a single top to our name. And then we play each other at a YCS, scrub out. The next 2 YCSs, we win them.
That's crazy.
It's fucking mind blown. Like, mind equals blown, bro. So anyways, because we had this like weird history and just because of all the shit talking that Nazar used to get back in 2011 when he won, like, oh, some idiot won with 6 Samurais, like, just a lot of haters, right? Like, because at the time I bought into stuff like that because that was just the hive mind of Yu-Gi-Oh! If it's not Billy or Jeff winning every tournament back then, you were trash. Like, if you were a guy that topped and won on your first, top, people just assumed that you got lucky and that what you did, everybody who's ever won got lucky, but people just assumed that they attributed the entire tournament to luck, like the entire thing. They just discredited everything that you did is all luck. So obviously, jumping on that bandwagon, my brain, I really do believe this. And like I said, this is slightly shady, but I believe that when I would sit in front of Nazar, I would look at him the way the community at home, the way the fucking fish looked at him, as though you're not actually good. So it made it very hard to read him because I'm like, he's probably doing something really bad because in my head, he's bad. In reality, he's actually not bad. And I should be treating him the same way I would treat Silverman or McCabe. Like I should be treating him the exact same way because he's actually on a crazy level. Like honestly, a lot of people still don't notice, even after Nazar's been on this podcast and everything, Nazar is actually brilliant at Yu-Gi-Oh! Like he's actually
he's nice.
Like his technical play, he's actually, no joke, brilliant at the game, but you can't tell reading a book by its cover. You literally can't tell. And yeah, so he's one of the hardest people I've ever played. I say all of this to say though, Jesse, I think, is my second hardest opponent I've ever played in the game. Jesse is nice. I have the same exact problem with Jesse. It's because like I know him outside of the game. His mind, the way Jesse thinks outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so fucking backward. I don't know. I'm trying to use the nicest word possible. I'm just saying backwards. The way Jesse thinks outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just so backwards that I can't perceive the idea of him being a good player. Like my mind to this day, I still can't fathom how he could play the game so well because he's so good at it. But in my head, I'm like, you are so fucking dumb. Like you are so goddamn dumb. How are you one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh players? Like that doesn't make sense. But he's cracked. He's fucking cracked. And when you brought him up, it reminded me of like all of this stuff. And this is how long-winded I am. This podcast is over 3 hours. It's almost our longest episode ever.
This has been a long one.
It's been a long one. Geez, we have so much to talk about, Scott. I think it's better if we just table it for another episode where we have you on because
we didn't even get to the time rule.
Bro.
You know what I think we should do? Speaking of time, you know what I think we should do? Because we have a lot of people that we say that we got to bring them back.
Yes.
But instead of just, because I don't think we have plans for really after the new year other than probably recapping Christmas and New Year's. I think our first podcast after the holiday should be the recap. And then if we can set it up with Scott, if you have the free time, we should just set up, like he should be the second podcast of the year just to like pick up where this left off unless we have something else planned.
I am down because I didn't talk about how I got started. I had it all in my head. I was going to tell you the story of how I got started.
Bro, how did we talk for 3 hours and 15 minutes? And we didn't talk about Main Chick, the crazy band story. We didn't talk about
Main
anime.
Chick is crazy.
We didn't talk about. There's so many things. I have a list of shit.
Yeah, so I think we can bring it right back because there's a lot of shit we didn't touch on. It could be the second episode of the year.
Listen, let's literally schedule this when we get to January. We're gonna reach out. I'll reach out to Scott, see what his schedule's looking like, see what everything's looking like, and we can actually factually do this. I'm 100% down because I don't even want to stop right now. But in the essence of time,
yeah, bro.
Hours and 23 minutes.
I've been holding in a piss like you wouldn't believe.
In the essence of time, we have to call it at some point because this will literally go on for 4 hours. Like this will be the first 4-hour episode. It's so bad to the point where I almost high key want to split this episode into 2, like literally edit it and cut it into where like it's a part 1 and then a part 2, and I release them like back to back, essentially. Like one day I release half, and I'm not going to do that, but I literally am thinking about it because it would be kind of cool to also bring people back to the podcast because literally this episode I think is one of our absolute best episodes ever. Like I think this is easily top 5 episodes we've ever recorded. Easily.
God, I'm crazy.
Before we get out of here, I need to give a shout out to the people on our Patreon. So if you made it to this point, you're fucking goated because we are past the 3 hour and 15 minute mark and I don't really have to edit much out of this episode. So with that being said, I want to give a shout out to Connie, Austin, Leon, Quest, Garrett, Xavier, Hiley, and Dimitri Barnes, Alexander Brissett, Vinny Casello, Giovanni Avalos, Alex Flamer, Henri Reynolds, CJ, Dubk Dad 1, Dan Vrabel, First to Home, S. Akuma, Mitchell Nouse, Midwest Gaming, Dimitri Safiris, Vince Marquette, Dallas Bailey, Roz Weiss, Nick Stango, Hantor, a 2-time national champion, Vincent Zen, Sarah Maria, Sunny Top Cup Podcast, Alex Ahern, Philip Campa, Jalen Haskins, Arale Melfi Slump, Kang Petty, Chris Lynn, Jeff Luang. We got 2 new patrons in the last day, Blake Jeffrey Smith and Connor LK. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to the IMNerd Podcast. Both of you guys are at the, the main party member tier. So at the party member tier, shout out to you guys for joining the party member tier. That's the tier where you actually access all of the exclusive videos that are literally they're not posted anywhere else. Like most of them are literally only on Patreon, including full video versions of the podcast like this one, the Master and the Pupil series. There's up to episode 7 on that. I think I only put 2 episodes on YouTube. So there are 5 additional episodes of Master and the Pupil on our Patreon. Stango and I have recorded 11 episodes total, so we actually have a backlog that we're just like dropping over time. And there's so much more exclusive content. There's a lot of perks on our Patreon, so check that out, guys, if you are interested. And yeah, with that being said, Scott, thank you so much for being on this podcast. I really appreciate you giving us this much of your time. I appreciate you also committing to doing another episode with our crazy asses. Like that is insane.
For sure. Thank you for having me on, man. I had a good ass time. I'm definitely down to come back.
Yeah, if you want to give a shout out to anybody or anything, feel free.
Shout out to the Bozo Discord. That's about it. Yo, Frazier, play in Pax little Tuesday thing if you can.
I will. Just invite me to the server. Tell everybody the super ignorance is coming in. I'm definitely down to play on a Tuesday. Tuesdays are actually a really free day for me too. Like I don't really do much on Tuesdays, so I'm down to do that for sure. Let me know. And I think that's pretty much everything. As I always say, guys, do the things that make you happy, including podcasting with one of your best Yu-Gi-Oh friends in the world, Scott Page. I love you so much. You're literally one of my favorite people. I've been saying it for years.
We're lit.
You got good energy. You made it to 3+ hours. You're reaching One Piece numbers.
That is One Piece level. That is One Piece level. Yes.
We didn't even talk about anime. You guys know I'm like obsessed with anime, right?
Bro, the second podcast.
That's why you're scheduled for part 2, baby.
No, I'm trolling. I literally don't watch anime. But
you're coming back.
My friends always watch anime, and I'm just like not about it. Like they're Chainsaw Man. It's like big right now, right?
Yeah, it is. It is big.
They always hop into the Discord. They're like, "Yo, guys, Chainsaw," and they all go in a different chat. And I'm like, "Well, you're alone." Like, what do I do?
Listen, there are a couple people who we've had on the podcast that are just like, "I don't fuck with anime like that. I get that you guys love it, but I just like Yugioh, and that's as far as it goes for me. Like, Yugioh is as far into anime as I go.
Yugioh's nice.
Yep,
that's
Yu-Gi-Oh
funny
is
as
nice.
shit.
All right, well, we're getting the hell out of here. See you guys. I'll catch you in the next one.